Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell,
Yo.
James Farley,
Hello.
and Matt Murray.
Why, hello there.
Hello. We'd like to start the show this week by thanking our Patreon producers this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Rocketman76, Grey Dragon Claw, Smooth Monkey, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Tom S, Stan, Philip with an F, Fred Fenge, Cena, narrowly lost to David in the TCGS Con North Mario Kart Final 2023, and John the Nelsmeister Nelson. They are the Full Nels crew, and we thank every single one of them. They are keeping the show afloat. Thank you. If you would like to sign up to our Patreon, go to patreon.com/TCGS. We're not going to go through what you can get this week. Just go to patreon.com/TCGS.
You figure it out.
You figure it out. We're not
Lazy.
You know what I mean?
You know, why do we have to go through it? It's on the internet.
Yeah.
The way we record it,
money.
we have to explain about it. No, like we'll do this bit and then you do that bit by seeing what's happening out there.
Yeah. Short show this week. Feedback.
100%. Yes, we're going to start with Greg Strummer. I'm about to head to bed, but not before showing my full support for Matt. He's not doing a part-time job. He's a full-time ardent defender of the Sega Saturn, and that's not easy. I've had to justify spending over £100 on Battle Battle Garega.
It's a real game, I checked. It's not
Battle Garega to my husband instead of using that money to replace the leaky bog. It was tough, but the Sega Saturn shmup one day, so keep doing the Lord's work, Matt.
Leaky bog, though? That's pretty bad, isn't it? What is that? Where's it leaking out of? Which bit? Because if it's the
cistern or basin.
If it's the basin, you got problems, baby.
But also,
have I told you about our broken toilet?
No, but
this sounds like bonus show material. But okay.
On a computer game show, yeah. Cool.
Strap in, folks.
Basically, the switch on the top got all stiff, right? And it wouldn't, like, you press it in and then it would just stay in and it wouldn't come out again.
Yeah.
Go on, Matt. Trying to tell a sensible story about toilets.
Sorry, you talk about your stiff switch.
Yeah. So basically, because I had no idea how these things work, so I opened it up, and it's like the brake cable on a bike. So I've just got that hanging out of the cistern, and you just give that a yank.
Oh yeah, we had that. We had that. Sometimes they have a little button on them, and you can just put it, press the button
so
like
basically,
that.
we've gone from like, oh fucking hell, this needs fixing, to like, I'll probably just leave that.
This might be better.
Not really
no, see, because I'm terrible with stuff like that. I've got to be. It sticks in my mind until it's fixed. Do you know what I mean?
I fixed the sink, the kitchen sink this week.
Yeah, but what was that? What, right, I'd love to know what that entailed. Was it just putting some cleaner down the sinkhole?
No, I changed the pipes.
No, nice. You didn't.
I did.
James, you wouldn't put a fucking light bulb in, and you're telling me you're changing pipes.
You're doing the plumbing.
Yeah. You're an actual plumber.
Do you know what? I'm just going to say it. I don't fucking believe you.
Then, okay, you can ask Chen because it's
get
totally
one now.
Yeah, you see, what's great is we can ask Chen because she will not lie for you, James.
No, it's true. She doesn't lie.
You changed the pipes. What do you mean? You changed? There's something that we're not. What do you mean change the pipes?
Define change the pipes, James.
So there's a pipe that goes down from the sink, like into to let the water go, obviously away, right?
And it goes into U-bend.
It goes into a U-bend, and then it goes round, and then it goes down a bigger pipe, like later, right? Now the problem was
later on, later in the evening.
Okay, pretty much instantaneously, but it's like.
It's like it's waiting there. Hold on, not yet.
Yeah. Well, it was
later.
The problem.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
And then, so the trouble was, see, this was Chan's fault, honestly. Because what happened was when we were first.
I know where this is going.
She put like
poop,
some like oil down there, and then it obviously got congealed and then stuck. And then obviously it built up and was no good. But then the trouble was the pipe was old and the fittings were all old, so it all burst basically, and then so there was water everywhere
and oil.
So I bought a new pipe, and it was too long, but it's all right because I cut it so it was the right length.
Whoa,
and then
okay, all right, fair enough. You have my respect.
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah.
I think that's all bullshit. What about that?
Okay,
I think that was completely fucking made up.
It's
absolutely made up. Also, going back to the original question from Greg there, or a bit of feedback from Greg, full-time ardent defender of the Sega Saturn. No, he's not. About once a year he goes, I like the Sega Saturn.
No, he says, I like Sega Rally.
I like Sega Rally. Well,
he
I love
loved
the
that
Saturn.
one game he played.
Oh, where's he gone?
Oh, here he is. He's
Right, he's got his Sega Saturn hat on.
Yeah.
But
Oh
only
yeah.
because
Well, what kind of?
we bought him for him for his
we had to buy
birthday.
that for you, Matt,
He didn't
doesn't
buy it
count.
himself.
Well, no, I didn't. I had loads at home. I didn't want to embarrass you. I'll just throw it in the cupboard of the other 75 Sega Saturn hats I've got.
This is
You know,
something
I
that's
would
been
love
bugging
it
me
if
since
Matt had like a Sega Saturn bomber jacket. You know, like
That would be sick
would
as
be quite
fuck,
good.
actually.
This is something that's been bothering me since Christmas. Actually, we bought my dad a book for Christmas, and he opened it up and he went, "Oh, I've already got this one." And I said to Joe on the way home, "Why did he say that? Who's that helping? Like, I don't get." Yeah, I got that one.
Anything he
Yeah,
wanted,
we
no
had
one
that.
checked.
What book was it, if you don't mind me asking?
when we
It
went
was-
back to China, like
it
we
was-
took some books for like a family.
Sorry, Matt.
member,
I'll
right?
answer James. He's got
Yeah, yeah.
clearly he's talking over. Go on.
Answer me
No,
later.
just fine. Go
No,
on.
no, it's okay.
Bullish. that he
Go
is.
on, James.
No, we had the exact same thing because we took a whole bunch of books back for like somebody, a family member in China, and then like gave it to them. And they were like,
problem.
because it was for a kid, and she was like, "Oh, she read them all." Like, it's like,
Like, yeah, just shut the
you're
fuck
like,
up and take
great.
them. Like, what is that
What
helping?
what book was it?
it was like, oh, sorry.
No, I was talking to David. Yeah.
It was David Jason's Very Cushy Christmas. Right, okay, should we go on to the next bit of feedback?
Yes, okay. Next is
Diary of a Wimpy Kid series.
Do you know what else he did, right? I'm going to tell the stories. This is usually bonus show material, listeners. My dad put out a box of like a big tin of Quality Street, and then like brand new, put it out on the table, and people started to take it. And then my mum started having a go at him because she found a little pile of the green triangles that he took all for himself and piled up into the corner. And he started shouting at her, "Don't tell him that! It's embarrassing! Come on, don't nick them all for yourself. Then that's weird."
I can understand why he's done
I
that.
know,
'Cause they are the best.
I know. You are almost like my dad, James.
no.
It's scary.
If they're the
I
best
think
or not, you
that's
shouldn't be
why I like you.
stockpiling. No way.
Go on. Sorry.
Okay, Colin. Okay, I think someone's trying to get me to say colonoscopy. Is that what they're trying to get me to say?
100%.
You sneaky son of a right, Colin.
You've got to stop
Colin
watching
escaping.
Traitors, Sean. 100%. 100%
100%
faithful.
faithful.
Feedback. You want feedback?
I know I'm a faithful.
Yeah, it'd be a wasted vote if you do this.
Just planting seeds.
Go on.
Anyway, feedback. You want feedback? I'll give you feedback. I'm a twat. I'll tell you why. A while back, in anticipation of Starfield, I asked you if I should get an Xbox Series X or an S. The answer was a resounding X. But what did I do? Because I'm tight, I went and bought the S. Starfield got some middling to bad reviews, so I've been catching up on some indies before starting it. Now I have, and there's frame drops and slow performance all over the shop, and I'm totally regretting not getting the X. I am actually quite enjoying the game, but my enjoyment is tarnished by the performance. Moral of the story and word to the wise, always do what the TCGS guys say. Whatever it is, believe every word they say. They are never wrong. That's a
agree
fact.
with that. I mean, that is a fact, but also it sounds like you might have a broken Series S because you don't hear often of, unless
say.
I'm stupid. Sorry, no, that's it. There's many reasons why I'm stupid, but unless like I've missed this, there's not supposed to be a huge amount of performance differences between the X and the S, especially when it comes to indie games. I think that would have been common knowledge, right? Or am I just?
I think he
naive
just
to
means
that?
Starfield, though, right?
No, that's not what he means because he says.
No, he says now I have, and this frame,
yeah.
as in now
Now
I
I
have.
have.
Starfield,
Hold on, sorry.
And this frame drops and
Starfield
slow
got some
performance.
middling to bad reviews that catch up in the indies. Now I have, and there's frame drops. Oh, right. Where did I get
Yes.
the indie game bit from?
Well, no, because I've been catching up on some indies before starting it. Now I have. There's frame drops and slow performance all over the shop. So you probably thought that was
Right. Oh,
attributed to
shit.
the indies, but it's not. It was Starfield.
But hang on. Does it definitely run better on the Series X than the S?
I mean, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I don't.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm sure it does. I mean, the frame dropping wasn't a major thing, was it, on Starfield, on the X? I played it on the X. But I remember it was also really bad for Cyberpunk, wasn't it? That frame dropping on the Series S was really bad on Cyberpunk, especially when it first launched.
oh god, yeah, in first launch.
Don't know if that's the same similar thing now. But yeah, no, we are always right. We
You're
told
always
you to
right.
get an X.
Also, stop playing Starfield.
Yeah, you should probably stop playing Starfield.
Yeah, play Star Fox instead. Oh no,
Yeah.
don't do that because
No,
James
it's
takes that as well.
Disappointing game series, but
Ricky Rice Cooker has messaged, I think there was never really a chance of subscriptions replacing direct sales in gaming. Film and TV are really expensive to produce to a professional standard, and distribution is very closed, which leads to natural gatekeeping that doesn't exist in gaming in the same way. And since digital distribution has become essentially non-existent for better or worse. But more than anything else, I think the reason it will never be replaced is that at every level of gaming, from indie dev teams of 1 or 2 people to the biggest AAA games, there's just bucket loads of cash to be made selling games. It's not distributed evenly, but that money is out there, and you don't need to convince Steam to buy your game to get a cut out of it, just members of the public.
Am I not following this? Film and TV are really expensive. I'm sorry, I don't know why I need to. We get into the end of each bit of feedback and I'm rereading it.
I don't understand the bit that says, and since digital distribution has become essentially non-existent, for better and worse.
Does he mean in terms
he
of
means
people don't tend
films?
To? Yeah, people don't tend to buy films digitally. They either Blu-ray it or
subscribe.
Stream it.
I think
that is digital distribution.
Yes and no, but that's not the context he means. He means that people aren't buying a single film anymore. Like they are watching films that are part of their subscription.
But I think like I take the point about like film and TV produced to a professional standard is inherently always going to be more expensive. Right, 2 people making a video game can do incredibly well, whereas 2 people making a film probably not going to make it onto Netflix.
That's true.
But that's what YouTube's for, right?
Right, sure. So but then that's free, isn't it? Like that's people aren't subscribing to. Well,
I'm not like disagreeing with Ricky. It's just interesting. There's I don't know. There's layers.
I
to
just said that games are really expensive to produce to a professional standard as well. Like
but they are. But if you're saying that you look at games like, say for example, Vampire Survivors, which was I maybe I'm wrong. But I would assume that the budget of that was nowhere near the budget of most major films. You know,
but then like sure, you have like YouTube and stuff like that, which is also.
But then you also do have independent films that do well. You know, it's
Oh yeah, name one.
Brian and Charles.
Name another one.
And...
Name another one. Not that one.
I don't even think that was independent. I think that was film 4. But
that actually cost $4 billion to make, David. So
the robot was really
more than all MCU
put
together.
I take the point that like something like Netflix is never going to have incredibly low budget indie films necessarily, whereas Game Pass is going to have Vampire Survivors, for example. So there is a more even.
I just don't see a comparison. I think it's a different audience. I think it's a different type of person. I think it's pointless comparing how films are distributed, TV shows are distributed, and how games are. You know, even film and TV, it's totally different, isn't it? And you know, you can make a TV show on a shoestring budget. Like for example, People Do Nothing and. What was that other one?
People Just Do Nothing.
People Just Do Nothing. And what was that other one with the where they're in the country and the scarecrows and that? What was that one?
Puzzle Gummidge?
No, no, it's a comedy. This country.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim Jam in the chat. Put this country. Like that was apparently the budget for that first season of that was ridiculously low. You know what I mean? So I think comparing TV to film is hard enough, but then comparing either of those to video gaming is just it's pointless exercise.
Yeah, because it's the reason someone might have a subscription is because they don't want to pay 70 quid for a game, whereas a film is a lot cheaper. There's less of it generally, 2 to 3 hours, whatever. But you can, I don't know. So a subscription. I can see why it'd be popular because why would I pay 70 quid when I can pay like 10 a month and have all these games? So they're very different things to compare, aren't they?
Yeah, it's tough. And I again, we've said this last week, but it really does feel like we're at a crossroads with this stuff. I'm fascinated to see which way it goes. Fascinated. Next bit of feedback, please. Because we also had a bit of feedback that says, can you please stop talking about the merits between buying games and it's not in here, but they had a very valid point.
Oh, we should have put that in. That's okay.
Yeah, that should have been the next one. Yeah, we'll try and cut that down. I agree with you. Right, next.
You haven't seen the news, but you're gone.
Oh, fuck.
Oh dear. Renee from New Zealand. In a tiny window between your Gotti show and the end of the year, a little game called Tevi was released on the 21st of December 2023. It had amazing reviews, so I picked it up as my Christmas holiday game. It is one of the best Metroidvania games I've ever played. Dialogue is very funny, the music is beautiful, and controls are beyond precise. Prince of Persia is getting so much hype, and I've really only played the Prince of Persia demo, but Tevi, in my opinion, is superior in every possible way. My question is, if a game comes out right at the end of the year, can it qualify for GOTY in 2024? Also, on the off chance you haven't heard about Tevi, please keep it in mind for a quiet month. Cheers, Renee. Now, that's spelled Tevi, so maybe it's Tevi.
Tevi. Renee, I mean, a game could come out fucking 3 years ago and it's still valid, apparently, according to some people, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Fucking bicker about it for 40 minutes. No, I think we can all agree that something that came out in that sort of window is definitely fine. Right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If it was released after
2020.
It is tough though. I think a lot about it for games that come out like very late December. Like they're not involved in any GOTY conversation ever, are they? Generally, because a lot of like things like IGN, like IGN, GameSpot, us, other people, like they've generally done their Game of the Year stuff like November, December. Releasing a game like either late December or in the break between Christmas and New Year, or even like even as late as like the 15th of December. It's kind of like, oh man, you've really missed. You really missed the window of like anyone talking about it. Everyone's at that point chasing up and playing the games they missed over the year. It's a tough time of year to release a game, I think.
Yeah, it's a stupid time of year to release a game. I'm sorry.
Just delay it till January where people want a new game to play and surely the window's open.
It was mad when... well, I mean, look at it. Look. If Prince of Persia was released at the end of the year, I think it would have not... It wouldn't have done bad, and it wouldn't have got worse reviews because of it. But it would have been overshadowed. Like people would have
massively,
people starting a new year, and this was the first game that everyone was raving about, compared to when people just got through Christmas, and while they're going through Christmas and stuff, someone going, "Oh no, it's a Prince of Persia game that's come out." Honestly, it would have got overshadowed big time. So, I don't even know if I like those style of games, so I'm probably not going to pick it up. But James loves them, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean generally, but I feel kind of burned out with them at the moment because I've played like 3 in a quick succession, and then Prince of Persia.
What's the 3?
Well, I played like 3 Castlevania games that were on the collection.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you?
And then also just finished Prince of Persia as well. So it's like I don't feel like I want to play another one of these for a while.
Right.
It's weird because it feels like there's not been many for a while, but then obviously Prince of Persia's just come out. Tevi sounds really good. Ultros is out next month, which looks amazing.
Ultros?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a game. It's a Metroidvania.
Cheers, man. Thanks for filling me in.
It's all right.
Anything else you need to know? Just give me a shout.
We go to our gaming expert now, Sean Bell. I'm not a massive fan of Metroidvanias. I think I've come to the conclusion.
Anyway, that's Tevi. Tevi Tevi. That is also it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/deartcgs to leave your feedback.
It's time for the news.
It is. So we've got what is really sadly it's like a weekly segment now, basically, of like talking about industry layoffs. But there was quite significant ones this week.
Well, you talk through them, and then we'll go back and talk about
That's what I thought. I mean, I thought I'd start off with we had the Microsoft stuff, which we'll come to in a minute, and also Riot. Just as we finished recording last week, actually, like Riot announced that they were laying off 530 staff members and shutting down Riot Forge. Then we've also got Black Forest Games. That's another Embracer-owned studio. They developed Destroy All Humans, and it's a German studio, and they're currently working on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. They've cut 50% of their employees. People Can Fly have also cut 30 people, including 20 people that were working on this thing called Project Gemini, which was going to be published by Square Enix. And also, I've not heard of Ruiner, but its developer Raycon Games has also laid off half its studio. But then also, we heard just before we started recording that whoever was working on Deus Ex, they've 97 people from that studio have been laid off, and that's not happening now. That's been cancelled. So it's been a really bad week for the layoffs.
Another really bad week, for the games industry, and another bad week for people looking for jobs within the game industry. Do you know what I mean? Because then the competition goes higher, and The Microsoft one, from what I've read, it appears to be because of this acquisition and the fact that they're doubling up on departments and stuff like that. Is that right?
It's that is a factor, but then also there's speculation that they're also going to be like support staff and things like that are being like removed as well. Like was another factor. But then
wait, sorry, what does that mean? So it's speculation of support staff.
Well, that they're going to be getting rid of like people that are working because apparently Activision Blizzard had very good support actually, as it goes, like as in you could get in contact with people very easily for support, and apparently I've heard that they were going to be going as well.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That would be down to the acquisition, right? The fact that they've got their own support service, so they wouldn't want to have two separate support services, right?
Yeah. I mean, do you want me to read Phil Spencer what he had to say?
Yeah.
So he said, as we move forward in 2024, the leadership of Microsoft Gaming and Activision Blizzard is committed to aligning on a strategy and an execution plan with a sustainable cost structure that will support the whole of our growing business. Together, we've set priorities, identified areas of overlap, and ensured that we're all aligned on the best opportunities for growth. As part of this process, we have made the painful decision to reduce the size of our gaming workforce by approximately 1,900 roles out of 22,000 people on our team. The people who are directly impacted by these reductions have all played an important part in the success of Activision Blizzard, ZeniMax, and the Xbox teams, and they should be proud of everything they've accomplished here. So, yeah, I mean, this is also in the same week that Microsoft...
I just don't know what you do. Like, Sean, I agree. You read that, and there's so much of that makes you turn your nose up. I don't know what you do as a quote to go along with these... You know, I mean, obviously, you would say... Like, it's difficult, right? Because obviously you want a little bit more humanity. Humanity with your quote. But then it's clear that he's also worried about who investors are reading what he's saying. And
I mean, so much of this stuff is about ultimately, sadly, like supporting the investors and shareholders, and like, you know, that they're understanding that this will make for a more positive future, etc.
Well,
so
hence the word growth. Like when you read it, you go, "How is this growth?" Like that word's being used there specifically to not make it sound like they're pushing the panic button. You know,
I mean, they must be pretty happy, seeing as Microsoft just announced it's a $3 trillion company now. I mean, that all happened at the same time. You know, which was. Yeah, not ideal. I mean, interesting. The other thing about this is that people that were unionised didn't get laid off with this. It's like all the people that were let go were people that were not part of the union, apparently. So that's also interesting. So join a union if you can. It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the situation at Riot as well is a slightly nuanced one, because I gather a lot of the layoffs are around the Riot Forge thing. So this was Riot's initiative to collaborate with like indie developers to do other games based on like League of Legends, basically, and there's been tons of them. Apparently they're good, but for some reason none of them have really sold. So it's not saying it's like okay, but it's like this was a new thing they tried to spin up and it hasn't worked out, so now they're stopping it. And it's like those were jobs that were, or a lot of those jobs were created for this, and now that it hasn't panned out, those jobs aren't viable anymore. So it's at least it. I don't know. As an external observer, it's a bit more clear to me that it's like, okay, these people were hired for this one thing that hasn't panned out, so now it's over. But still incredibly shit. And apparently, and there's been stuff about how they've, staff that have been let go, how they've been treated. It's the usual like abrupt, like get out of the building, or your login doesn't work anymore, or
you mean at
like,
Microsoft?
The usual shit. It's just
but like the staff were allegedly given computers and 6 months severance and stuff. Allegedly.
Well, yeah. Sarah was saying. I'm sorry, Sarah, to drag you into this. She's saying in the chat apparently the reality of it has not matched with the statement. So yeah.
So the other concern that I read was they were, you know how at 343 one of the problems with Halo was that they brought in, it was all like contract workers and stuff like that.
That's right.
And there's a concern. I mean, okay, this is complete speculation, but people are concerned that that's what's going to happen with Activision as well. Is that they'll
obviously.
Start
I mean,
to that.
this is it, isn't it? I mean, businesses at all levels of business are trying to reduce their margins as much as possible.
Yeah, but I understand that. But if you're a $3 trillion company,
but that's such an easy thing to say, and
but it is an easy thing to say. If you're a company that it's a $3 trillion company, those people that they've let go, they could have retrained them or put them in something else. Like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to just follow this constant growth all the time.
I am not saying this is a good thing. This is awful for those people. But it's such a naive thing to say. Just retrain them and put them somewhere else. Like,
why?
It's not
You're
because it's not how it works.
Company.
They don't. Yeah, but they don't. It's not.
They don't owe the staff anything. It's obviously bad for the staff. Like, they're a business. They want to be efficient. They want to, grow for whatever it is. Like, they don't have to. They don't have to just because they want to say, well, we'll retrain you. Like, it's easier for them to make cuts, make savings, and then.
Like, I agree with you, James. It makes me angry. Like, this shit makes me angry. But to think that a company is going to just spend more money to redistribute people on something that probably they don't even need, it's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. So thinking that way is just
it's not going to happen. But that's what I'm saying. But it should happen. We shouldn't be looking at this and just thinking, oh, this is just business, because that's bullshit. And that's why
they could choose to not act like this.
They could choose to not act like that at a huge. It would cost them a hell of a lot of money not to act like that.
But then also you consider those people that were unionised that didn't get sacked, and the reason for that is because they're unionised.
They're in a
and the
union.
fact that they can argue back about these things.
Yeah, well, we agree on pretty much every aspect of this, right? Like, we are both pro union. When publishers, when developers, whatever, speak out against unions, that's clearly an issue, and it's something we've spoken about in the show a lot. But I think it just I don't look at I don't know, there's just part of me that just goes, it's easy to turn around and say, well, just keep them on because you're a $3 trillion company, but that's not how it works.
No.
Like, that's not the reality.
It does work like that in other countries, and it does work like that in other places where they have different.
And it's worth bearing in mind. Did you see the stuff? I think it was around Christmas. The stuff about Steve Ballmer. Like, he gets $1 billion a year for nothing now, because he was managing director and because of the shares he's got and stuff. Microsoft has to pay him $1 billion a year,
right?
And he just gets that for sitting on his arse,
right?
So it's just
that adds to the anger. But I don't think I don't think that's a counterpoint to what we're talking about. Like, I don't see that as an alternative argument. Like, it adds to my anger when you're seeing so many people getting laid off. Like, for example, something that affects us all, right? Whether you're in the gaming industry or not, you look at the energy bills at the moment, and you've got the top brass at the British Gas announcing that he's on $4.5 million a year or whatever it was, and you just go, but you have tripled the amount of energy bills in the past 2 years, right? And you're earning that amount of money.
And all their profits in record profits per quarter, billions as well. It's not surprising given the costs you've raised.
It does. It kills you, and it's awful. Like, my anger is there. Like, I get it.
But he could choose to be paid less.
He could.
And also, the system could be changed so that so that he can't be paid that much.
Yeah, right. Okay. What system? Yeah, but here's the thing: what system could be changed so you can't?
You
be
can
paid
regulate
that
the system, David.
Right,
you don't have to just allow people to have whatever they want.
How do you regulate a worldwide business like that?
And you regulate it locally by local governments.
Okay.
That's why different governments have different ways of organising things.
Right, yeah, totally. Yeah. So you regulate it at local government, which is what you have to do.
Yeah.
But the moment one local government doesn't regulate it, then all the businesses will be moving there and building out of that country, because that's how it works.
If that was the case, then there would be no businesses operating in most countries in Europe. It doesn't work like that, David. It's not that people just shut down and move just wherever there's no taxes whatsoever. They still have to operate in those markets, and you can still regulate them.
They still operate in those markets.
Yeah, but then loads of businesses have moved from the UK to Europe, like post Brexit. So companies are moving to make it better.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with stringent regulation. That's just because the UK is a fucking shit show. That's different.
Well,
I just think when it comes to companies, big or small, their main goal is to try and make as much money as possible and to try and cut down as much of their overheads as possible. And I think as angry as I am about all this stuff, to think that they could just redistribute this amount of people to different roles. I think it's just personally, I think it's naive. I don't think there's any point in.
It's not. It's
like
not about being naive. I understand exactly what you're saying about this, but what I'm saying is that through union power in particular, and through government regulation, you can force companies to do these things.
Okay, I don't see it, but it's. I mean, as I said, this is a this is a worldwide crisis within the industry now, isn't it? It's getting to the point where, as you say, every week we're coming on here and we're naming 4 or 5 new companies that are just letting people go in massive numbers.
Yeah, and we're already halfway to matching 2023's numbers, and it's not even the end of January yet.
It's fucking horrible. Okay, all right.
Should we move on to other news?
Yes.
Which is also related partly to this. So, I mean, apparently the other thing that's happened is that according to Jez Corden from Windows Central, Microsoft has shut down departments dedicated to bringing Xbox games to physical retail. And so the indication here is that maybe then they're thinking about, the future pulling out of producing physical media for things. Although this could always be outsourced, to another company or whatever. But internally,
I think that's more likely, right? That they're going to be outsourcing this stuff as the sort of percentage shifts, and it is shifting towards more digital distribution and subscription services. The importance of keeping that stuff in house in terms of physical media is going to get less important and more likely to be outsourced, I think.
We saw the leak before, didn't we? Which had the all digital Xbox Series X as well. This to me just indicates that they're probably preparing for that being the future and no more physical.
Yeah, but as we said last week, like I don't think the percentages are there yet. Like I don't think they're at a point where they're seriously considering going all digital within the next 2 to 4 years. I can't see it. I think it's going to be a while before we properly see digital only consoles. But who knows with Microsoft at this point? Who the fuck knows? Honestly, I don't know where they go from here. I don't know where they go from here. I thought that this generation they'd make up some ground, and if anything, it sounds like it's getting worse. So, what's their next move? What is their next move? It's weird, isn't it? I don't know what direction Xbox are going, and I think they're probably trying to work that out themselves at this point.
Indiana Jones, mate. It's going to solve everything. Yeah, it's going to be fine.
Not unless there's an arachnophobic mode in it.
Yeah, about box Xbox games. For third parties, I see why why you would want to buy an Xbox kind of game, but obviously all the first party stuff. If you're on Game Pass, and again, not everyone is. I love to know what the sales are of box first party games for the hardcore Xbox fan, because it's going to be a Venn diagram with a hardcore Xbox fan that's almost certainly on Game Pass. And they'll be the ones that want to buy his first party titles, maybe day one. But then you got the less hardcore.
Who's hardcore enough to be on Game Pass and want every Xbox game in hard copy as well?
It'd be interesting to look at those numbers. So I think it's undoubtedly going to be the future of digital. But as Dave said, I think we're actually further, really, really far away. It's easy. Every generation will this is the last one. I don't know. I was not convinced.
We talk about this in the 360 days. Like how far are we away from a digital only console? We had one with a PSP Go. Didn't Nintendo have one? One of their DS's.
No, they did.
Only?
They did the opposite of that with a Wii, which was like they did a version of the Wii that didn't have internet or anything.
Yeah, so it only took disk.
I didn't have internet. I remember that red one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? Because I think when you think about the early 2000s, the 90s through to the the 2010s.
Yeah, the glory years. That's just
the progression in technology when it comes to gaming, when it comes to mobile technology, was so rapid. Like we went from a BlackBerry to an iPhone in no time. And I think we're just realizing that actually it's like there's been a peak now for a while and things are plateaued,
doesn't it?
And actually there are still enough people that wants to buy physical media and wants to
they wants to buy
that. So I can't see that. I can't see it changing anytime soon, honestly. And I don't think necessarily these reports are an indication that Microsoft are going to go that way anytime soon either.
Yeah, I've never been over this. Yeah, like generally Switch, I'll generally buy them physically because first party's the least, retain their value, so I can sell them. But then like Xbox, I don't know if I've even put a disc in this Series X, but I would still probably want to buy a machine with a disc drive next time, just on the off chance that I do, like as a deal or I want to play an old game. But I don't think I've put anything in this Series X.
I mean, I tried with my Series S, but it didn't work.
Yeah, PS5, because I've definitely bought more PS5 games, typically, again, single-player games. Is that because
single-player games, and you know that you can flog them afterwards? Because it is for me.
Oh, yeah, I mean, but basically, Xbox is multiplayer, if and when I find time to do it, or the Indies or Game Pass. PS5 is for single-player games, and Switch is for,
Mate, you've not played multiplayer games with us for about 12 months.
No, but I've been busy with things. Yeah, I will come back.
Got a life,
so rude.
Well, I don't know, it's probably the opposite, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the next console, I know there's like this rumored digital one, and that's all cool and all. And even though I get on Xbox, it's 99% digital, I would probably buy more of a disc drive just to have the option.
There's only one next console I'm caring about, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. I cannot fucking wait.
It's one of those things where on paper, like I 100% want physical media to remain a thing. But then, as Matt says, like that in no way tallies with my actual day-to-day experience of playing games, which is 99% digital at this point.
Yeah.
So
okay. Next story is that Apple have opened the App Store to game streaming services. Ooh. So
Apple done some weird shit this week, haven't they? Not all of it's been good.
Yeah. Well, they've done a bunch of EU only stuff. Like, which
because
is
they've had to.
Yeah, because they've been forced to do so. Although they've done it in obviously the shittiest way that they possibly could to make it as awful and difficult for people as possible. Which is what companies like that do.
Wait, hold on. Can you explain that? Don't just say that shit and don't explain. What do you mean?
Okay, so in the EU, they've changed it so that you'll be able to install other what they're calling marketplaces. We're not allowed to call them app stores on iPhones. But then one of the side parts for this was that they were trying to bring in this scheme that was similar to the Unity thing, whereby people were being charged per install of things.
Over 1 million downloads.
Over 1 million downloads, you had to pay per install for things. But then also they're also being forced to bring in multiple browser choices as well, so that you can you have to choose which web browser you want and stuff like that with the phone. But
so what this means is that we're going to get an xCloud app in Europe. We're not going to get it in.
No,
UK,
you'll get it as
Europe.
well. That stuff's everywhere. Like the stuff. The stuff for the cloud streaming is everywhere, but it's the multiple marketplaces is only for Europe at the moment because of the agreement.
Okay, well done, baby boomers. Cheers. All I wanted was another marketplace on my phone, and you've.
Well done, mate. So we are going to get an xCloud app. I mean, I don't really do xCloud on my phone, but you can say there's a web app, but now it'll be a fully legit native app. Same with was it GeForce Now, other stuff.
Google must be furious because they're just if they could just sat in there a bit longer.
They still wouldn't have been there. No way. It's all gone quiet on this whole streaming game stuff, isn't it? What do you think?
Well, in what way? I mean, it's gone quiet in that it's just happening on Xbox.
You're right. Well, it's just no one's really talking about it anymore, unless I'm just out of the loop. Like they
don't even talk about it either. Really.
Well, no, because it's just people doing it. Like, what else do they need to say? People doing it. Well, I'm not, but some people are. I assume people are.
We're always going, this would be a great way for people to get into it. I don't know one kid that's like, oh no, I haven't got an Xbox, but I've got an Xbox Cloud app. Like, it's.
No, but has that future really arrived? Like, can you? I mean, again, this is me being ignorant, but can you connect your Xbox pad to your TV and play using the Xbox thing? Because that's only on the most recent LG TVs or Samsung TVs or whatever they got the agreement with. It's like I don't think it's not as widespread as we want it to be yet for that to be the case.
I don't know if anyone wants it. I'm starting to realise that. I mean, all this future dream of VR and
well, hang on, whoa, David. Let's not say something we can't take back. All right.
And cloud gaming and digital. Oh God, I don't think anyone gives a shit anymore.
The whole cloud computing thing.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3 is going to have destructible buildings.
Drivatars, Sean. Drivatars.
Hey, they exist. You can't say they don't exist.
They're just your mate's gamer tag over a car. Like that's all it is.
Yeah, but
people
being get to race against their dead friends and relatives. And you can't knock that, right?
Okay.
Just leave them
exactly. Yeah,
but you can if they fucking beat you. Imagine that.
Imagine
heading to and then your dead relative overtakes you on the line, so you press the Y button so it reverses and you knock him off the road.
Never liked him.
What a moral conundrum.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
This ultimately seems good for consumers because there's more choice, right? So this is good. So James, just to clarify, right, the Europe thing. So we're still gonna get we're not getting multiple marketplaces.
This Europe thing you speak of. You don't remember it, Matt.
Distant memory.
You're not getting the multiple marketplaces, but you are getting the cloud streaming stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't bother with the current marketplace on the App Store anymore. So
I mean, you're not getting.
really.
The main reason for it is obviously so that, like, for example, like Amazon can run their own store, so then they don't have to go through the 30% cut. That they have to give Apple, so they can just run something like that off it.
Also, if I were to buy. Okay, so if I get like a Twitch, or if I get a sub for iOS, it's not going to charge like the 30% to them, and because I think Spotify's up more, isn't it, if you do it for iOS because of the 30%.
So you can do it like through that. But again, it's Europe only. But you see, I can't even take advantage of this, even though I live here, because it'll be like account based, and my account's still a UK account. So
and you're unwilling to change to be a European account because you're bloody British.
I know. I mean, we voted that way for a reason.
He's got his Union Jack boxes on. His account won't switch over, Matt, because he still lives in Canterbury. At least I'm still 100% sure he lives in Canterbury. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Will this allow for me to engage with the marketplace of ideas, James?
100%. 100%.
Unfortunately, you can do that on any internet.
Have we always said 100% this much?
No, it's
or is it really like noticeable now?
It really is Traitorsville.
It's crazy. Right. Okay, next.
Game Pass. Another Game Pass story, which is that apparently some BT customers are being charged for Game Pass without their knowledge, and so BT has apologised. And according to VGC, the people had the subscription activated without knowing, and then they were being billed an extra £10 a month. And this has been going on since October 2023.
So this is interesting because this has happened to me, or is happening to me as we speak.
Firsthand.
So obviously I knew
Sean,
when I renewed my broadband. When I renewed So when I renewed my broadband, it was like, it comes with 12 months Game Pass, like that'll activate automatically.
Mate. That is free, basically.
But they are charging me for it. And after a few months, I realised and got in touch with them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, really sorry, we'll refund what we've charged you so far, and you won't pay again." And then 2 months later, I was like, "They are still fucking charging me the Game Pass fee." So I need to get in touch with them again.
Well, do you want to know what BT said to the BBC?
I don't know why I'm laughing.
This?
That's awful.
Yeah. So is a BT's quote, "Oops, lol"? Like, what is it?
It's kind of in that ballpark. So they said
that ballpark.
It says, "We're very sorry."
It's in that ballpark.
It's in that ballpark. God, that's an episode title.
In that ballpark. We're very sorry that the customers mentioned in this article have had Xbox Game Pass Ultimate added to their account without their knowledge. We recommend that all our customers remain vigilant and that all our customers change
just in case we're ripping you off.
Charge them for things they didn't want.
We recommend that all our customers remain vigilant, and if they notice changes to their accounts that are suspicious, to contact us as soon as possible to report this. We will support and guide them on how to take steps to ensure their account is secure.
How to take... The steps are for you to take, BT. They're not...
You take steps, mate.
But see, and then VGC, they just said that BT haven't explained why this is happening. Like, there's no explanation as to why this is happening. It just is. It's on customers to check it out.
I think I do know why it's happening, actually. I think Phil Spencer's like, Mr. BT, can you start charging? We've got to get those numbers up, baby. We got to pump those numbers.
I remember there used to be a practice where I left Vodafone because they used to ring you up and say, "Do you want a new phone? You can pay off. You've got 2 months until you upgrade, but if you pay that off, you then get a new phone." And then you go, "No thanks," and then within the week, a new phone will come through because they just ticked
and a Game Pass
yes
sub
instead of no. You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Like, see, this is all horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's horrible. Like it's horrible. I'm going through some money stuff at the moment, right? Big time. Like I've had a shit
laundering,
month, like a shit month, and there's so much of it. You look at it and go, "You're trying to rip me off.
Mm-hmm.
You are trying to rip me off." Like, and in this day and age, when everyone has got like, it's just shit.
The thing that always gets me, and I know this is like a classic Martin Lewis thing, you know, the fact that like loyalty means nothing anymore, right? It's the fact that whatever it is, like whenever your minimum turns up, whether it's car insurance, phone, whatever, always switch, because you will never get as good a deal by just staying with your current. Because you know that's like the boomer mentality. It's like, oh no, but I'm a loyal customer of 30 years. Yeah, they don't give a shit.
They
do not kind of. And it fascinates me because it's like, surely it's less faff for everyone involved for me to just stick with someone, and surely there are savings there, and how, you know, sure that makes life easier for everyone. No, apparently not.
Yeah, I've just been through that. Like, so we have Virgin Media for fast internet because I need it, and we also have a phone line. We don't even have a phone, and we have Virgin TV. We don't even have the box plugged in. They said, "Oh, your new bill is going to go from this to this because the promo offers run out." I'm like, okay, I'm just going to ring them up and say, we don't even want TV and phone, just give me the internet. They're like, well, we can give you this just internet because of this amount, or we can give you everything and it's cheaper. Like, you'll give me a phone line. I don't even know my number and I don't have a phone, and the box isn't even plugged in because we use an iPlayer and ITVX and stuff. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And if I was a new customer, it'll be like another 50% cheaper.
I've just realised that this is quite boring. That is not your fault, Matt. That's not your fault. It's the way the conversation's going. But it just hit me that we're talking about the merits of subscribing to Virgin. And we were all together. We were all in this conversation. No one's at fault. But
I haven't even told you what the person said on customer service yet.
What did they say? Was it a British call centre, Matt?
The best one is, you know, when you get your car insurance renewal email and it literally will now just say like, you'll probably get a better deal if you go somewhere else, so maybe look into that.
On the subject of great deals, can I say one place you'll not get mugged off is patreon.com/TCGS. Next door.
Oh, it's the last bargain on earth, mate.
I love the fact that I made the point that we're fucking boring and this is supposed to be an entertaining show, and we just carried on.
Well, you know, they're all robbing bastards. That's the thing. You know.
Right, okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Holy shit. Holy fuck.
Holy fuck. There's apparently going to be an 8-inch LCD on the Switch 2.
Mama.
Is that 8 inches per screen, or is that 8 inches? Is it 2 4-inch screens? Or is it just...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So I looked it up. It's the same size as the Portal screen. A lot of people seemed upset with that it was a LCD screen. All I can say, mate. I don't know if you agree with me, James, but the fucking LCD screen on that Portal is like, obviously it's not an OLED screen, but it's fucking close.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's going to bring the price down enough,
it's the principle, David. Oh, LCD. What year is this?
You've got to see it though, Matt. It's not like an LCD screen that you see.
It's nothing like the original Switch screen.
Like, no,
like my Hisense
telly. That Portal screen is fucking genuinely stunning. Mm-hmm. So I think if Nintendo go with that style screen, they won't. Then I would say that this
is the most shrewd thing, because they know, again, the hardcore fans, or even maybe not hardcore, just lots of people will buy the LCD one, and in 2 years' time they'll buy the OLED one after that. I
don't know because I don't think it would be that much of an upgrade. If they bought out
Well, if they have a bigger kickstand, David, then it will be.
If the screen is as good as it is on the Portal, then the OLED upgrade is not that much of an upgrade. It's genuinely not.
Yeah, so I'd agree with you there.
I think if they do that, I don't think it's going to be as enticing, anywhere near as enticing.
What would be amazing is if this is an 8-inch screen with massive bezels around it.
Well, this is...
I hope not.
This is the strange thing, right? The Portal is fucking massive, and that's mainly because the screen is fucking massive. So how big is this Switch going to be? Because I know a lot of kids with Switches, and giving them an 8-inch screen, like the kids have never touched my Portal because I just wouldn't let them. Like it's too big for them. I don't want them anywhere near it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine giving an 8-inch screened Switch to my kids. Like it's, I don't know, man.
Yes, I've just looked. Yeah, so the OLED's a 7-inch screen diagonal. I mean, there are. I don't think that's gonna be that much of a bigger size increase, really.
It's a massive size increase. You've got to play with a Portal map because it's night and day. Like it's genuinely night and day between the two.
Mm. Well, I'm thinking yeah, maybe, but how big are the bezels on the Portal? The ones on the OLED
not
are
big
pretty.
No, they're not big.
No, they're not. I think they're smaller on the OLED, but then they're not that big on the Portal. I wonder how big this fucking thing's going to be, and if it is 8 inches, then they're probably not going with the standard Joy-Cons, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's definitely going to be new Joy-Cons then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, I can't.
Unless it's 8 inches diagonal and it's like super wide, so it's still the same height.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure about this because the thing about the Portal being that big is fine because I'm just using it at home all the time.
Yeah, you're only using it at home, yeah.
But I don't know if I want something that's like that massive.
No, you don't want that on the bus or the train.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
What is it on a basketball court or on the roof of the building?
I don't think it will be that much bigger. It's like when Apple say, the screen's getting even bigger. It's like, fucking hell, how big can the screen get? But actually, with like bezel changes, side, make it slightly longer. I don't think it's actually be that much bigger.
Because phones.
Right, okay, hold on. You carry on talking for a second.
Okay, we'll do. Like phone size seems to just be all over the place these days, doesn't it? Like, or rather, you've got options, right?
Yeah,
like the new generation of Samsungs, new generation of iPhones, whatever. Guess what? They come in different sizes because people have a preference. It's like phones have arrived at this point where it's like, well, bigger isn't necessarily better. Actually, a lot of people miss smaller ones. Depends on what you use it for, the size of your fucking hands,
Yeah, but I mean, like, if I'm going to wish we went back to the insurance or whatever we were talking about earlier. But generally, some phones are actually getting taller to accommodate a larger screen size. And Apple's, the sales of the SE weren't that good for Apple to do a new one. So generally, the market is moving towards larger screens.
Yeah, the Mini, they binned the Mini entirely.
Even though lots of people, I love a smaller. Like state-of-the-art iPhone, but a small one. Love that, but clearly hasn't sold.
People love the battery life on those things.
So I know the Portal is massive, and we're wow, 7 from 8.
You said you can't see. You don't think there'd be a massive difference between the Portal screen and the.
No. I said going from the OLED 7-inch OLED screen now to.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at the difference in that. Sorry, this is for people watching on the YouTube.
Can you turn the screen on?
To the podcast.
We are the worst. People hate the visual stuff, and they'll literally bring visuals to the party.
The batteries run out. But honestly, the difference in the side. Look at the difference. Yeah. It's massive.
Yeah, but it is also because the Portal is a lot deeper as well because of the massive controllers. That's the other issue with that.
No, I'm just talking about the screen sizes. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It is a huge difference, Matt. A whole inch diagonally is massive when it comes to a portable device. It is huge. So yeah, I can't imagine a Switch this size. I genuinely can't. And as you said, James, mainly because of the portability, mainly because this is what the kids are going to be playing in the car. This is what the people are going to be taking around with them and stuff. It's I'm not taking this anywhere. Like, what's the point?
Me neither. It's like. And also, like, if you take it, like you said, I got a case as well, Dave. And it's like as soon as you put it in that, it's like a massive bag, isn't it?
It's a briefcase at this point. Yeah, it's crazy.
Also when James takes it anyway, he also turns his router off, so there's literally no point.
It's true. So yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, sorry, this is another one for the Twitch audience, but that's the bag that the Steam Deck goes in, little handbag, little clutch.
Sean's currently holding an EasyJet size suitcase.
Yeah, that ain't going in the hand luggage, is it?
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I cannot wait to see what this thing's going to be like. The other bit of news that come out is that it was definitely coming out this year.
Yeah, that was the...
Yeah, all the rumours of that.
Do we still think it's coming out this year?
I think it's definitely coming out this year.
Yeah. Do you?
I mean, not just that, but a lot of people saying that if it is this year, then what people expect is that we're getting like an announcement in like between now and say April, a deeper dive in June, out September, October. So we could really be only like 2 or 3 months away from the announcement of this thing.
Yeah.
Until summer, bigger blowout, and then released later in the year. So
yeah, but later in the year, that's not usually Nintendo's style, is it? They usually release quite. Look, wasn't the Switch?
I mean, the Switch was March.
April?
March 2017 for Switch.
Yeah.
30th of March, whatever it was.
Although the Wii was quite late in the year, wasn't it? I remember it being.
Yeah.
That was quite late in the year. But then, I don't know, man. I can't. I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what the lineup is. I can't wait to see what wacky shit they've done that no one understands.
2 screens.
It's just going to be wild. It's the best time. It's the
Shall I
best
tell you what
time
lineup is, Dave? It's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 2. It's Animal Crossing, the one you got on Switch again.
Another Pikmin?
Yeah, it was Pikmin 4 X2.
The realisation of a mid-90s dream.
That's what it's called. It's called Pikmin 4 Realisation of a 90s Dream.
Tears of the Kingdom HD 60.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild Remastered.
Yeah, man.
Do you know? I don't know. Sorry, while that was going on, I was just having a look to see when previous
the podcast. You mean?
Yeah.
What you guys are doing? Your talky thing. You record for people.
Well, you're just doing your shtick, aren't you? So I thought I'd have a look and see when Nintendo consoles have been released, over the years.
Can we go back to talking about Virgin Media? No.
Only the Switch has been released in March. All the rest have been released in September and November.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, that shut me up then.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. I remember the Wii being quite late. I thought the
November.
Wii U was a I thought the Wii U was a summer console. To be honest with you,
November 18th.
November the 18th.
Yeah. That's probably why it didn't sell too late.
Absolute disaster of a console that was.
Ruined Christmases.
Nearly killed Nintendo.
Yeah, so in the next 3 months, probably we're going to see Switch 2, baby.
Yeah. Next story is that there is going to be a PlayStation State of Play Wednesday, so on the day that this podcast comes out.
We're doing a Talktober?
Yeah. Hell yeah. We'll be doing a Talktober if you're listening to this on a Wednesday. I mean, if you're watching this live, it's Monday. But if you listen to this podcast when it comes out on Wednesday, we're going to talk over tonight at 10 to 10 to talk over all the rumoured things that can be revealed at State of Play.
Do you want to know what the rumours are?
Hit me.
Go on.
So, the rumours are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Damn fucking straight. We are a month away. A month today. Holy shit.
Is that the only one that gives a shit about that game? Can I just confirm?
God, I'm going to die. The new trailer was so good.
Yeah. Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, pumped for that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
An Until Dawn remaster. Yeah.
Oh well.
Judas, which is Ken Levine's game.
Okay, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Rise of the Ronin, Silent Hill 2, and a new Metro game, and apparently
it's like Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, the remaster.
Okay.
Yeah. Or remake, rather.
That's
the episode title.
There is another champagne
from
California.
But then the other weirdest thing is a Sonic Generations remaster.
Okay, I'll play that. I'll fucking play that.
Okay.
Okay. I don't. Oh no! I was thinking of the other Sonic game, the one where you fuck around in a field.
Sonic 2.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's got to be something a little bit more
What do you mean you don't know, man?
None of this is interesting, is it?
Death Stranding 2 is interesting.
Death Stranding 2.
I've decided
absolutely.
I am fed up of expecting amazing things from these shows.
Just go in to enjoy. That's what I do.
And then all we do is fucking moan about it.
Yeah, you're right.
Sure.
And I'm just...
I never go into these things optimistic about them, but I still enjoy moaning about them.
That's true.
I know,
and
but
I
you
do,
just piss
and
us
I
all
come
off
out
when we're all pumped and you're going, it'll be shit every time.
And it is every time. It is
no,
shit.
it's not every time.
It's not
Most
shit.
times.
It might be disappointing. It's relative. It's not won't be shit though, will it?
Here's what I want. I want to see what Naughty Dog are doing next.
No chance.
I want to see.
No chance now. That'll be like a big E3
I'm just saying
thing.
what I want to see. Just why have you got someone? No chance. You're turning into
Just
James.
think about it, David.
Hey, do you know what would be really cool if we saw this? No chance. And so, what Naughty Dog? I like to see Spider-Man 2 DLC. I like to see. I don't know, one of those wacky, like one of those like Sony, like Concrete Genie, Stray style games. Stray 2. Eh?
Yeah.
What about that?
A bit early though.
Before that,
right?
Yeah, it's a bit early, isn't it?
It's been a couple of years since Stray came out.
Yeah, I don't think I appreciate that game as much as I should have, because
I should go back to it.
I enjoyed it. It just didn't blow
it. It wasn't great,
blow the back doors off.
But it's it's that level of Sony game that I want at this point. Like I want, and I know that wasn't a Sony game. I know it wasn't a Sony game, but it felt like a Concrete Genie at the time. Something completely fresh and new, and it was only available on the PlayStation. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that's what I want from Sony at the moment. But at the moment, like that list of games, it's like how many of those are old games? How many of those are old games? Can we go through that list again, Matt? What was the list that you said, or James?
Okay, so Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Right,
that
old
is,
game.
Yeah.
What?
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's a very well-known, established thing, isn't it? Final
but it's a total remake.
Yeah, but it's going to be the same as the last game, but just the next bit of the story, right? Mm-hmm. It's not going to be fresh. It's not going to be exciting. Next.
New mechanics. Yes. Next, James, that's you.
Death Stranding 2.
So right, okay, so that's a sequel to a game that most people said was boring. Go on.
Until Dawn Remaster.
Okay, Until Dawn Remaster. That's another one. Go
on. So Judas, but that's new. So,
okay, so that's good. That's good. I don't know much about Judas.
Rise of the Ronin, that's new.
Okay, yeah. There's a couple of new ones there.
Silent Hill 2 remake.
So we got back to it.
There's a new Metro game though, apparently.
Yeah, the rumours about that are also that it could be a VR game. So that I'd be interested in what that's about.
Well, if anyone would know.
No. That's just what I read somewhere.
Do you reckon we're going to see any PSVR 2 stuff in this thing?
Well, I mean by the sounds of it, Matt's just exposed that yes, we are.
No, that's just what I saw in VR circles.
Until Dawn.
Okay.
What is Judas then? What is it? Is it like the BioShock thing? Looks like BioShock.
Basically.
Okay.
I can't remember enough to comment.
So
it looked a bit BioShocky, but quite weird and interesting. So fair enough.
Yeah, I'm up for that then. I'm up for that. Maybe that's the one that I focus on this year. That's the one that Sony might save my skin with.
No, I'm very excited about this. I'm full steam ahead. I think there'll be loads of surprises as well. Well, I want to see more Final Fantasy, obviously.
Okay, and Death Stranding. What do you reckon the surprise
Come on,
be?
Matt, you enjoyed Death Stranding as well, right?
No, I'm really psyched for a Death Stranding sequel. I thought the first one was fantastic.
Yeah, I like it.
Came late,
I can't remember if I said I bought it on Steam so I can play it on the deck.
It's Kojima again, yeah. You should play it, Sean. It's just it's great.
It is a good game.
What do you want the surprise to be, Matt?
From
what studio?
Well, no, I mean, what I would want is like a shadow drop type.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Right, next news story.
You motherfucker.
Okay, final story is that Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. People who
oh my God.
are starting the game,
funny.
start the game and they log in and then they're told that the story has been completed already. So this
Perfect.
is a quote.
That sounds great.
So this is what
is people who
Rocksteady
paid like what £100 or something for an early access.
But what does that mean though? Like, what does that mean? It's been completed.
You log in, it pops up and says you completed the story.
Right. Okay. But it's not spoiled. It's just a bug.
God, can you imagine if it just showed like the ending?
Yeah, like the end of it.
Yeah. People dying.
Fucking hell, trying to turn the telly off.
And then the Joker died. So, what the hell?
And then they killed the Justice League per the title.
Well, it's like, this happened to me. Right, okay, I know we talk about it a lot in this episode, but this happened to me in Traitors because BBC iPlayer is a piece of shit.
Oh my God, yeah, it's a wanker, isn't it?
Yeah. So sometimes
Why
it goes
does it start at the
next
end?
episode. So you go, okay, but if you've got two to watch, it plays the most recent one. And like I saw one character went, well, I've been murdered. And we were like, no, you haven't. What? So what a fucking pain in the arse. Or like the time when I put the wrong Star Wars film in, James. I put the third one.
Oh yeah,
whatever the third one that was released in instead of the second one. And it was the other Death Star.
Or like the time Michael Fox wrote a blog saying "My Ethan" on the release weekend of Heavy Rain.
That was a bad one. This is a weird bug, isn't it? But more importantly,
and so because it's, I mean, the bug initially in and of itself is bad enough, but then the fact they just had to turn the servers off to fix it, which means no one can play it because there's no offline version of this game. Like,
I'm surprised this hasn't happened more often. You know, like when games, like, it's a common practice now, pay extra, you get to play it like a week early. I'm surprised this isn't more common to the point where it's like people are paying extra and they don't get that advantage.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because remember I was saying about like when the run up to Starfield, and there was the same thing, the offer of like get the special edition or the upgrade to the special edition, and you play 5 days early. And I was saying, like, obviously we all know day zero patches are a thing, which I don't mind. But yeah, if I'm paying for a 5 days early access, am I playing at day -5, or is that day zero? Do you know what I mean? And clearly something like this shows that maybe another patch
maybe don't do
good.
that. So it's a strange practice that I think. Yeah, I do. It's so common now, but I do think it's gonna get to the point where no one's gonna want to do it because what's the point? If you're doing it before the patch, this game's been through a lot of problems, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of reports going on about how the game's not been sent to press, and which is not necessarily a sign of a bad game. It can be an indication.
Good games that they've done that with, seemingly unnecessarily, but
but it's not. All these little things are adding up, rather than it being one or two sort of like red flags. There seems to be quite a lot of them. So,
I mean, I think the review thing's not really surprising because a lot of the previews that there were not very positive, like from most places, and so they're probably just like, this is I mean, I feel bad for the developers of this game because it just feels like nothing's gone right at all.
It's fucking Rocksteady though.
I was gonna say,
John texted me and said, "How have they gone from the Batman games to this? Like some of the best superhero games ever made."
Yeah.
To what's going on now?
Yeah, like so many people in that studio will have just been screaming, having to make this. Like I feel awful for them.
Yeah, obviously reviews aren't out yet, but I just struggle to believe that they're gonna say, this plays like shit, it looks like shit. I feel like there's got to be a Rocksteady goodness in there. It's just it might be overtaken or consumed by the live service stuff that might get in the way of it. But I think, I don't know, I haven't played the game, I don't know when review embargo even is, but I've got to hope or assume that they're like, the basic game is fine, but it's just all this other stuff that gets in the way. I mean, it can't be as bad as all the previews and this bug and all the other kind of rumours and stuff are suggesting. Because it is Rocksteady. Because Rocksteady are a legitimate studio who have done some great work. I know they're doing a live service game now, and maybe people are bored of that and have fatigue and stuff. But
studios forced into doing a sort of live servicey version of something they've done well before, and it's completely fucking them over. We'll be talking about one of them in a little bit.
Yeah,
it's just. But I guess everyone thinks, oh no, like what I can fix him. We can sort this. Like everyone else is doing live service, sure, but like we're Rocksteady, we can do it like the right way.
I can fix him
for us.
Well, no, that's like that's a phrase, isn't it, David?
Is it?
But I'm just like, I just imagine.
I remember us having exactly the same conversation with you, Matt, about this with Anthem and BioWare as well.
Probably, yeah.
I can fix him. Isn't it? We can fix it. Isn't that? Are you talking about? Is it the $1 Million Man?
$1 Million Man.
No, it's just like that. It's like the kind of relationship thing of someone thinking, look, this person might be damaged, but I think. It's like it's a relationship quote. It wasn't
that's right.
Yeah.
I've not been in the world of relationships for a long time, baby.
You're actually in one now, Dave.
Oh yeah, don't feel like
anyway, yes. Maybe this is great. It won't be. So.
Hopefully, it won't be. I don't know. I've not played it. I cannot.
When the review embargo must be this week, right?
Yeah, but if no one's had the fucking code, what are they going to
do? Someone will rush out a review.
I mean because we should mention that's the really shitty part of late review code is that reviewers are going to be killing themselves to get their reviews out as soon as possible. And
you know what they should do? What? Fucking review the game on a podcast where you don't really give a shit and you sort of just plod your way through a review over the space of 6 months.
Just have an outlet where nothing really matters.
End the year where 3/4 of your podcast slate a game that they quite like just because they like the other one a little bit better. That's how games review. That's the respect the game industry deserves. Fucking hell. All right, we done with news?
Yes.
Good. Let's get into what you've been playing. Should we have a quick brief catch up on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown? You said you finished it, James.
I did. Yeah, I finished it over the weekend.
Fucking hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I mean, I've got no desire whatsoever to 100% this game.
Oh, there's no way I'm 100%.
I've got to say, I mean, I only played a bit more of it this week. I'm not really feeling. I'm too early to.
Yeah, you are.
Moan about it.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Okay.
The stuff that it gets you to do. I think. So I've got like a bunch of traversal stuff now. I've got into the sand prison, which is the sort of gate where you've got
to be able to break out of, would it?
If you, well, it is if you're
prison made of sand.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay. Knock the walls down, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because if the tide comes in.
What's going on?
Leave the jokes to us, Sean.
Yeah.
So like the stuff that it gets you to do is interesting, and it really mixes up like the platform puzzling. You're like, of course that's what you're supposed to do, because that works like that, and then you can like it turns into like Celeste to a point where it's just like, oh, I'm not touching the ground for ages, and I've got to do all these complicated moves.
That's interesting. I was going to ask you about that because I've not played it this week, but I've seen this video. So this does look quite Celeste in that. You know, you might post a video on social, David, when you talk about like frame rates and stuff. I've seen other ones. So like this looks very Celeste, where it's about getting from one point to the other using all the tools at your disposal.
It's really like that. I mean, that's kind of the way the whole platforming is like designed. Cool. But then it's also, I mean, I got to parts though which were like optional platforming bits where I did a couple of the sort of like areas that are clearly supposed to be like a tougher challenge, and was kind of enjoying it. But then I just got to one point where I was just like, I'm not enjoying this at all.
Well, I've got to a couple where I'm like, I don't know if this is very, very challenging or I'm supposed to have another upgrade before I do this. Like, I've still not got the double jump, and there's part of me that's going, it feels like I should be having a double jump here because this does not seem possible to me.
They give that to you quite late into the game as well.
Yeah, fucking hate that. Just make it the first thing I get. Look, I'm really loving it. I text James in the week saying I'm completely getting battered by this boss and it's killing me. It's really winding me up. Is it a common thing in Metroidvanias that there's a central sort of hub area with a shop that you're supposed to keep going back to and leveling up?
Not really, no.
Because it is in this, and it doesn't remind you often enough that you should be doing that. I never once upgraded anything, because I think the first time you get to the shop, everything is way out your price range. You can't afford shit.
Yeah.
So then you kind of forget about it. And then I got to a boss and I was just getting beaten like relentlessly, and I was like, I do not know what I'm supposed to be doing here. This is ridiculous. I'm getting them to about a quarter of their health down and I'm getting battered. And then it come up on the loading, like the death screen, why not upgrade your gear? And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I still can't afford anything. I went back there, I almost doubled my health. You know, I've upgraded my weapons to they're more powerful and stuff. I went back and did it first time. And I was like, right, okay. So, yeah, I didn't know that this was something that I was supposed to be regularly doing. And I suppose the other bad thing, like, I wish you could just, like, fast travel between Waka Waka trees or whatever they're called.
That would be tremendously helpful as well.
Yeah, instead, there's, like, these areas, like, you uncover these, like, 2 horses or whatever, and you can... There's only very specific places that you can fast travel to.
I'll tell you what's really strange about that as well, is that they have these fast travel, like, locations, like you said, right? But... in some parts of the map, there's several that are really quite close to each other, and then others where there's just none.
Yeah, there's
for ages,
none of them,
which is really odd.
Yeah, I've noticed that already. I really love how it plays. I really love how it feels. I think the combat's really interesting and fun. The bosses are absolutely stunning. It does some stuff visually that I wasn't expecting. It does some of the power-ups and the powers that you get along the way. It was kind of blowing my mind, and they're really exciting. So yeah, I can see why people are loving this game so much. I do think maybe... Oh, I did turn on guided mode, which is a fucking revelation for me.
That's something that tells you where your next objective is, right?
All it does is on the map, there's a little shield that shows you where your next just the area. It doesn't tell you how to get there. It doesn't, it's just a little marker on your map. That's where you need to go next if you want to continue the mission. Lifesaver.
And it instantly completes the game, doesn't it?
Instantly, no. That's
you turn it on and you find the game's already completed.
No, that's Suicide Squad. You're getting mixed.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was
Turn it on. It says, "Oh, how are we going to break out of this sand prison?"
Mate, you should have just gone quiet then. We all should have just gone deadly silent.
He reworked it, David. He reworked the gag. I appreciate that.
I will say this though, and I fucking knew this. I fucking knew it as well. When I bought the Switch version and all those reviews, there's no problem with performance at all. Holy shit. There is a lot of performance problems with the Switch version, and especially in the in those timed puzzles within the what is it called, the sacred?
Yeah, it's the archives.
The archives, sacred archives. Oh my word, those ones at times it lost me the game, and I've lost battles because I've missed the parry point because it froze for a second and stuff. And I'm like, do you know what? I think what's happened is that people have played it on Switch and gone, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, do you think maybe they did play very far into the game?
Or no, not that they didn't play very far into the game. I just think they didn't play it on the PlayStation or the Xbox. You know what I mean?
I will say, like, the first time I saw that comment, and it was from John from Digital Foundry, and someone was like, "Which one should I get?" And they're like, "Look, like they're largely the same, so it kind of depends if you want portability." Like that was it basically. It wasn't like you have to get the PlayStation version because it's so much better. Switch is not most of the way there. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be issues.
You saw the video that I posted.
I was going to say that clip you said that wasn't just like a bit of a frame drop. That was really bad. Wasn't it?
It froze, and it did it again after that when I was doing it, and on another one of those puzzles.
And it wasn't a skill issue.
How would you know? You wouldn't know skill if it slapped you in the face, you prick. Swinging his beer, look at him. Joke of a man. I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm in the sand prison. Shut up, Sean. Where would you say percentage-wise am I for it? Like halfway?
About halfway.
About halfway, yeah. Because it's taken me. I think I've put about 8 hours into it so far.
Yeah, I don't know what my final count was. It's maybe about 15, 20
It's
hours.
in the save. It shows you in the save.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look and see what it was.
Did you lower the difficulty?
I did, because there was some bosses which were just ridiculous. I
can see myself lowering it.
Even
just the regular enemies they just take a bit too long to kill.
A lot of them you can just run through. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to that point where it's like, oh, there's no benefit in actually fighting all these people, so I'm just getting from A to B. So yeah, that happens. I mean, it's always good to have a little ruck every now and then. You get to build up some stuff, like what.
But you see, like for me, these kind of games, the thing I enjoy most is the traversal aspect. So like, that's the good bit, and the fighting bit can sometimes be a bit.
There's some really cool, challenging platformers. However, one of the abilities on the right stick. And I don't like it being on the right stick. Like you have to push it down.
Yeah.
Right.
So you use the right stick as a button, and it's kind of like, oh, that sucks, man, because you're trying to press the jump button and the dash button and everything, and then you got to click the stick in. It's like, fuck that. But whatever. It's serviceable. It does the job. Yeah. Good game.
There's also, there's one section that you'll come up to which is visually stunning. Like it's the best part in the game. You'll know what it is when you hit it because it looks incredible.
Have a guess. Is it a character with large breasts, James? Is that it? Because that's usually what you go for.
What on earth is that? No,
there's something visually coming up, David, that I think you'll like. I certainly did. We all know what you're up to, James.
A couple of beauties coming up, David.
You said the same about after you beat Ornstein and Smo. Right.
Yeah.
Is that what you've been playing this
Fabulous
week,
chest
James?
coming up.
That is pretty much. I did get the Ace Attorney, the Apollo Justice trilogy, obviously.
What did you get on?
On Switch. Yeah, on Switch. But I haven't really touched it yet. So.
All right. Okay.
No.
Go on.
I also did get the Like a Dragon, but
I wanted to hear about that because obviously it got amazing reviews. I've heard some on podcasts, and even I was like, maybe I'm tempted. Like this does sound great. Everyone's like, it's the best one so far. It's like what it does to bring your stories in. I mean, I'll be missing out on that obviously, but listen to Nextlander particularly. They were raving about it. I was like, man, So, James, you've got it, but you haven't started playing it yet.
No, because I want to finish Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I really want to just finish it because otherwise...
Holy shit, you're still playing through that?
Yeah. I'm 70 hours, I think, into it now, roughly.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'd like to finish it.
You still enjoying it, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but
tell your face.
Yeah.
No, I am really enjoying it. It's just that it's
ready for
long.
it to be over, sort of.
Yeah, it's very, very long.
Yeah.
It's got to be something special to have a 100-hour playtime. Well, you know, all right, but I spent that on Breath of the Wild, I guess. But it's
and Power Wash.
Do you know what? Am I at 100
And
hours
threes.
on Power Wash?
You gotta be, surely.
I might be. Okay. Cool. Well, I'll finish the games that I got on my list then. I decided that I wanted to play war games. And no connection. So have you seen Hell Let Loose? Have you seen the clips of Hell Let Loose?
I've not seen any clips. I know of it, but I've not seen any clips. No.
Oh my god! This is like it's all over social media. This game because it is just horribly brutal. Like it's horribly brutal. I've not played a game that's made me feel like shit so much as do this.
What, EAFC?
No, no, good point. Very, very, very good point. So Hell Let Loose is a sort of, it feels like Battlefield, but it feels like more realistic. Like it's like one shot kills basically. If you get hit, you're dead.
Right. Yeah.
But the maps are massive. There's just so much going off. Like you could launch into an area and there's this whole battle going, but if you manage to work your way round the battlefield a little bit, you can find yourself in a forest just walking for ages with no one around. And as you're walking around, you can hear the explosions and the gunfire and everything going off. You're not involved in the battle, and we were just walking through a village, me and my mate, and we didn't see anyone for ages. And you're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, you just see like one other soldier from the other side just like walking through the village on his own. And you're like, right, okay, well, let's be quiet and let's take him out. And you do, and you feel shit, you feel awful, and then you move on. It's like a weird combination of Battlefield and PUBG. Like it's got that vibe of you're not going around looting things, you're not collecting things, but there are times where you are just on your own and you know that you're in this big war game, but at the same time you found your little corner of the map where nothing's going on, and every step could be you walking into like, it feels like you could turn a corner and then there's 10 like enemy soldiers there. You know, it feels like that. At one point I crept up on someone's base and dismantled it, and that felt like an achievement. Didn't kill anyone my whole time within 15 minutes, but I did dismantle one of their bases, and for me that was like huge. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a game that I am going to be playing regularly because it is so horrible. You know what I mean? It is real brutal stuff. But at the same time, it feels like one night with a bunch of mates could be quite an experience. I'm surprised you've not seen any of it, Sean, because there's clips. There's basically loads of clips everywhere of like people meeting. Like it's got proximity chat.
Right.
We weren't using it, but it's got proximity chat, and there's like people meeting up in there and then joining forces and going, come with us, you know, and then you see them walk off into the distance and explode because they're hit by a mortar or whatever. Right. And there's like everyone starts screaming and running about everywhere and stuff. It's a little like it's got that about it, so that's been going viral and stuff, but I didn't expect it to be this like sort of, you know, pit your stomach awful to play.
Is this is it on Game Pass? This?
Yeah, it's Game Pass. Yeah, it's on Game Pass. That's what we played on Xbox. And then we moved over to Battlefield 2042, which is wow,
like
fucking incredible.
Really?
Yeah. That game come out so broken, so broken. And you play it now and you're like, holy shit, this is fucking great. And I mean, it's still Battlefield. You'll still have a moment where you're trying to take aim on an opponent in front of you, and then suddenly one of their team is behind you just shooting you and all your mates. It's like, great, okay, I'm getting attacked from all sides. But it's still got that Battlefield feel. And I think if I'm going to spend some time upgrading my equipment and everything to get to the point where you feel more competent in that game. But, oh man, Battlefield was always brilliant. It's just they always launched in a piece of shit state. So if you're thinking about getting back into Battlefield, then no better time in my opinion. It feels so fucking slick now. Like everything just works and it feels great and it looks brilliant, and there's so, you know, it's the Battlefield that you know and love. But yeah, I cannot believe how much they fucked it when they launched that game.
Such a shame because like I remember like the launch trailer looked fucking stunning.
Yeah,
I was proper excited about it, and then it came out and everyone's just like, "No, don't
even bother."
Yeah.
Well,
so at the time, didn't they get rid of the classes? I'm sure they got rid of something, and then like they got rid of like key class or something.
No, I think that was the first one. I think not the first one. That was the one before that. I can't remember which one was before it. Was it World War II? There was one of them where they replaced some of the classes where you could only spot if you were a certain class, which is like a major part of Battlefield, and you could only revive if you were a medic. But actually reviving was something everyone could do, and I remember when they fucked around with the classes and stuff. I don't think it was 2042. It might have been Battlefield 1. I think that was. Do you remember Battlefield 1?
Mm-hmm. I do remember.
I think that might have been that one. The first one. I don't know, man. If you like, at the moment, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of a bunch of stuff.
Same.
I haven't really gone back to Cyberpunk. Maybe I need to play that a little bit more. But right now, EAFC is pissing me and all my mates off. So we've been playing a little bit of Battlefield recently, and my word, that game is good now. Play it.
Does it still feel as good as Battlefield 3 felt?
Join us, Matt. Honestly, join us.
I've downloaded it. I've got it downloaded. After you mentioned I've got downloaded it.
You just join us for a night because you'll love it. Yeah, it feels that good.
I've no doubt
it'll take a while to get into, but it feels that good now. Yeah, it's great. So that's what we've been playing. Sean, you've been going nuts with a video game series this week, haven't you, mate?
So after the Xbox thing the other week, and obviously Indiana Jones being made by Machine Games, and I thought, Machine Games, they made Wolfenstein: The New Order, and it's fucking great. And I never played the second one, nor Youngblood. Somehow I've finished the second one, New Colossus. I think it's only like 10-hour campaign or something like that. Yeah, just absolutely smashed it this week.
You whack it on easy, because that's what I did with that game.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, the combat wasn't the thing for me. No. I was in it for the story, 100%.
Yeah.
You know.
But then it's a bit of a slow start. But then once you get through that, things start really picking up. And then go on, what's James chuckling at?
I said 100%.
And then I just saw you do the eyes. I was like,
yeah.
Well, it's really weird because it's a slow start, and then it starts picking up, and then there is an event, sort of halfway, sort of 2/3 through the story, and then it's completely mental through to the finish. It's like the game was made by two different teams, and one team did the first half, and it's so strange, but it's great. And it once again, same as the first game, it rides that line of like, yes, it's very silly, over the top, gory shooter, okay, like often quite funny. But also genuinely like heartfelt and has some actual points to make about fascism and like certainly like in Wolfenstein 2, it's very much making this point that like America was not difficult to turn towards. Not right. Once Nazis like started taking over America, it makes this point that like they're like, oh yeah, like most Americans were like, yeah, sure,
yeah,
which is a comment on especially the way America was back then. And it's got smart things to say, and like I love the whole thing of William Blazkowicz just like being this sort of like externally he is that like all American hero, but like he does those little internal monologues where he's weirdly like brilliantly poetic and really thoughtful about what he's doing as he's stabbing Nazis and breaking their legs and shooting them. I absolutely loved it. So I finished that.
The scene that we sort of mentioned last week, the scene with Hitler in it.
Yeah.
Fucking man, can you imagine working on that scene and just thinking, have we got it right? Like personally, I think they did. I think they took the piss out of him. They but they humanized him, and they also made him as scary as he's just a horrific person,
even as a shell of his, shadow of his former self, he still carries this weight. Like no one can fuck with him, and
right. But then they can fuck with him because he is a mess, and I can't imagine what it must have been like working on a scene like that because there must have been so many. Have we got this right?
There have been so many versions of that scene.
Yeah, how can we have we written this? And they would have seen it over and over again and said, "Have we just got this wrong?" And it's not like what's amazing about that scene as well. It's not like you can sit people down and show them that scene and say, "What do you think of the tone? Does it work?" Because that scene has a foundation of all the stuff leading up to it that supports it. Like, fuck me. Like, the way we said it at the time, that the writing in it and the directions it went and the subjects that it chose to talk about was so expertly done. And at the same time, managed to fill it with comedy and humour and, slapstick comedy. And, it had everything in it. But how the fuck? I remember me and James talking about it and going, how does it work? I don't know, but how does it work? Like, how is it working? Like, how is it pulling this off? Because I can't wrap my head around it. So God knows what it must have been like to work on. Like, you must have freaked out. The scene where your girlfriend in it goes nuts and starts shooting everyone. Like, again, pitching that scene must have been like it's easy for us to go, oh yeah, they all went, yeah, that's a cool idea. Let's go for it. But they probably didn't.
Like. That scene, and I'm sorry for people listening to this who haven't seen it, and we're dancing around spoilers because you might hear this. I know it's not like 7 years old or whatever at this point. You might hear this and want to play it, but a scene like that, it's like there's I guess there's a fine line between like, oh no, we are empowering this like pregnant woman who doesn't give a fuck and she's amazing, or is it just titillation? Do you know what I mean? Like
it really didn't feel like titillation.
But to me, absolutely not the latter. Yeah. But I think there must be some anxiety over treading that line, right?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
But enjoyed the absolute fuck out of it. Loved it. And I thought, do you know what? I want more of that. So I installed Wolfenstein Youngblood, which I'd heard bad things about. But you know how it is sometimes. This is the one with
it was supposed to be co-op, yeah.
Yeah. And you think like, but I know all the complaints about this going in. I know what to expect. Like, surely I can get more of the same out of this.
No.
Played about half an hour of it. Yikes! It's fucking it's excruciating.
I'll tell you what's really annoying about it as well, because I played through and finished that game.
Did you?
Yes, I did, and because it gets good. Once you've leveled your characters to the point where you're basically playing it as a regular Wolfenstein game.
Yeah.
But it takes quite a long time to get to that level.
So there's two main things I hate. So like, I remember back in the day, people complaining about like the dialogue and the sort of rapport between the two sisters and stuff. I quite like that. I thought that stuff was cool. I thought they were funny. I was into the the story and everything. But infamously, this was made as a co-op game. From the menus, it doesn't want you to play it as a single player game, does it? Because you're looking at the menus and it's like host game, join game, and I'm like, but I just want to play on my own. You go into host and then you can set it to like just offline. But then means obviously you're playing with an AI partner who's not great, and the and the stuff it makes you do. That's like, oh right, we need to make the co-op stuff feel necessary. It's just like, here's another door with 2 switches.
Yeah.
And you've each got a stand at one. Obviously playing it on your own, you just like, you go and hit the switch for the door and you have to stand there and it's like waiting for co-op partner.
Yeah.
And you wait for the AI player to go to the switch and then you both press the switch. And there's like, in the sort of 30, 40 minutes I played, there was about 6 different versions of just that. And it's like, but you're not thinking, oh man, I should probably be playing this in co-op, because what's fun about that? Okay, I'm hitting the switch. You're going to go hit the other switch. Okay, you're both hitting the switch now. Now we can go through the door. Who gives a fuck, right? That's just boring. And the weapon customization stuff is like, so like, what the Wolfenstein 1 and 2 did really well is like, there's weapon upgrades, but they're all really significant. So it's like, this gun gets a silencer, this gun gets like an extra magazine, so or like fires in a different way, does more damage, like, but it's not auto fire anymore, stuff like that. All really significant, like decent changes to the guns, whereas this is like, oh, do you want to put this different barrel on it for like a bit more damage but less accuracy? And I'm like, no, this isn't what I come to a Wolfenstein game for. And again, we know now that they were sort of pushed into this, right? which just makes it all the more heartbreaking that stuff just doesn't really work.
Wasn't there something to do? I'm probably completely wrong here, but wasn't there something also to do with like microtransactions with this as well?
Yeah, there wasn't there? I can't remember. I didn't delve enough. Maybe that stuff's been taken out now. I don't know.
Because I remember that being another reason that people were like, this feels like it's like been put together as like a marketing have decided this is a good way to do this now.
Yeah, and then as you say,
like marketing, James. I mean, going to do a bloody good job actually.
You know what kills me about like this game? I reckon if this game doesn't come out, we get a really good Wolfenstein 3 like a few years after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that set that series back, I think, like genuinely.
Yeah, definitely affected momentum. Yeah, because lots of people like pumped for the next one, and this one came out.
Yeah, such a shame because there's so many things about it that I still love. As I say, like the gunplay is still fantastic. It looks great. Wolfenstein 2 still looks amazing. Despite it was like 7 years old at this point. The character model sort of let it down, but the environments are amazing. But yeah, Youngblood. So many of the parts are still there, but they're just drowned in the co-op shit. And like I say, they're like the leveling up stuff. So whenever one of the bigger Nazi soldiers, like the heavy ones, shows up, they're just like bullet sponges, and it's like, why have you done this?
Yeah, that sucks.
Shit.
And the trouble is it's like because especially if you've just played any of the other Wolfenstein games, and it's like I know how to deal with these guys, and then it's just like they just won't die, and it's
and it's not like a sort of an interesting like, oh well, I get it because I'm playing as like the twin girls now, and obviously they're not BJ Blazkowicz, they're the kids, but it just doesn't. It's just not fun. So yeah. That was that. Uninstalled it. Never mind. Another game we've been playing is Go Mecha Ball. So this launched this week and is on Game Pass. It's really good. It's a twin stick shooter, sort of top-down isometric view, where you're a cat in a robot because people love that stuff, don't they? And you basically, it's like arena based, so every level's like an arena, sort of different levels and pipes you can go in and fly around and jump pads you can jump on, stuff like that. But you basically at any point you can pull the left trigger and you go into like a morph ball, sort of Metroid style, and you can roll around. And basically the trick is you obviously running around shooting enemies with the machine gun. There's loads of different weapons, laser guns, shotguns, whatever. But you run out of ammo quite quickly. You can't hold that much ammo. So to get ammo back, you go into the ball and then you can do a dash attack at the enemies, bash into an enemy, they'll drop some ammo. And just before an enemy attacks, a little exclamation mark appears above them. You bash into them, then you will deny the attack, right? So it like flashes up, say like denied, and that means that you've cancelled their attack. So it just creates this brilliant like constant loop of like shooting some guys, running out of bullets, right? Let's try and cancel some attacks, let's get some ammo. Back to shooting again, and it's great. It's really, really, really good fun. It's a roguelike, so you're picking up abilities, different weapons, power-ups, stuff like that. Sort of figuring out a loadout as you go. Really, really enjoying this one. Dave, I think you would like it a lot.
It does sound like it. I've not played a good twin-stick shooter forever.
Yeah, mate.
Forever, so... Yeah.
The last one I've been playing is a Quest game called Underdogs, which I got because it's a mech game and I like big robots. What I didn't realise is basically, so the story is it's like set in it's sort of a cyberpunk-ish setting, set in the future, and basically these two brothers who have this robot, and you're entering like fights basically to try and win money and stuff.
Yes, Robot Wars.
Yeah, Robot Wars, standard stuff. So I bought the game because I just saw screenshots like, oh yeah, you're in a mech cockpit and you bashing stuff. That sounds really good. Didn't realize, so your mech doesn't have any weapons. It's like a gorilla basically. So you're just smashing shit, and like so it's almost got like the movement from Gorilla Tag, right? So to move around, you grabbing the floor and dragging it towards you, right? So you're like, but you can do like put like both hands onto the ground and like pull them towards you. Like that's how you do like a headbutt, and you have to do that quite a lot. I was fucking knackered playing this. Like it was genuinely
sounds like a
quite
good workout.
Yeah, man. So it's doing that a lot, and obviously like loads of punching, and like, and it explains in the tutorial. It's like little like jabs are just a waste of time. Like the strength of your punch is based on speed and how wide the swing is. So it's all about like trying to do like really wide swings, and it's really really good. The production values on it are amazing. Like I think it's quite a small team that made it, but you can't tell. It's probably one of the best looking games I've played on the Quest. Like because it plays to a style, right? Same as Walkabout mini golf and what have you. Like it's a very clear visual style they've gone for, but there's just like even like the title screen's amazing, right? When it goes to the title screen, you're looking at like your robot like holding this other mech in the air, right? And as you look around, you're like looking up, and there's like a crowd everywhere around you, all like cheering. And then as you look straight up, you like. It's one of those things like I took a video of it and then looked at the video. I was like, oh no, this just looks like nothing. In VR, the scale of it, you can see all these huge skyscrapers like going up, and it's just like fuck, this is great. And there's little cutscenes as you go through the story, which do the sort of what's the one shit I've forgotten, Matt? The really well known one with the guns and the where you're going through like a very stylized environment. And shooting people as you go and dodging a bit and
pistol whip.
Yes, pistol whip. So it's got the sort of kind of like the cutscenes from that, and then it's like sort of comic book style. So you're looking at panels from a comic book, but obviously they're 3D, but they're just really beautifully done. And there'll be bits where suddenly, like sometimes there'll be like a couple of panels, and then it'll fade to the next scene, and it's like a whole scene like all around you, and you're like, oh shit. It's really, really, really well done, and just the fights are so much fun. Like all these different enemy types coming at you with like different sometimes there's these little bombs that just explode when they get near you, so you got to sort of let them get close and then bash them away as they start to explode. There's these sort of robot tigers and shit that occasionally sort of they've got all electricity on them, so you can't touch them when they're doing that, but as soon as the electricity goes off you can smash the shit out of them. Like environmental stuff like hazards, spikes and stuff dotted around, so you're trying to like punch enemies into them to take them out. And then you get to like, so I've only done like the first boss, but that's another mech like you, but he's got all blades and shit all over him. So then suddenly you're going from like being all powerful to like, oh no shit, I have to like play quite defensively now and like dodge around quite a lot and like really sort of time my attacks. Another thing it does that's absolutely sick is when you're like, so you have like hit points for like your arms, but also for your torso, right? Which is where you're sat. You're in this cockpit with this big sort of glass like cage around you. When you're down to your last hit point, the glass smashes, and that's when you're like, fuck, I need to win now. And because it's in VR and because you got this fucking like this massive boss in front of you, you feel like so vulnerable all of a sudden. She's like, shit, it's right there and it's going to kill me if it like gets one more hit in. No, it just feels amazing. It's so much fun.
You don't get like the feeling like things are like coming into your cockpit or anything like that with that. Like,
no, thankfully, they don't like invade the space. But you do feel like really vulnerable. Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, properly enjoying that.
Cool. Sounds cool.
It is cool.
Is that available for PSVR?
I've seen some people talk about that.
I don't know if it's on PSVR actually.
Probably I know it's Quest. Who knows?
Have you thought about what? Have you thought about selling it? I still can't believe you've got a PSVR and you've got an Xbox Series S. It's just
that makes no sense.
I mean, I've used the PSVR probably about as much as I've used the Series S recently, so it's
blimey.
Cutting. Okay, Matt, what have you got for us?
I've only been playing Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. I played some more of the roguelike mode, and the more I play it, the more I kind of wish I hadn't released that fully multiplayer game mode. It's really good, but it just feels a little bit lonely, which is, it's a single player roguelike mode. Of course, it's going to be lonely, but there's leaderboards and stuff, which you get to see, how you rank and whatnot. But like, I really want like a larger, not necessarily live service, but a larger multiplayer Last of Us like mode. I think it could absolutely work, and obviously that's why they seemingly put loads of work into it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't worth all the investment. And I think Neil Druckmann said they didn't want to change from single player to like a live service studio, basically. So I get it.
I know it sounds bad, right? But like a Last of Us 2 Battle Royale does not sound like a bad idea. Where the clickers are controlled by they're just like computer controlled, and then you create a character and you're in the world and it's the last surviving. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of Battle Royale.
Yeah, rather than the gas, you could get totally swarmed by just
by clickers
and
and all
if you win,
sorts. And...
it'd come up saying you are the Last of Us.
that would be the best ending as well.
Why are people laughing at Sean this week? These are the worst jokes I've ever heard in my life.
But that was knowingly shit.
Do you know how much?
Yeah, I actually really like the sand prison stuff, but that was a joke. That wasn't just.
He loves. Yeah, I loved his sand prison material.
Go back to the sand prison material. Okay,
that's what they're all saying outside. Yeah, enjoying it, but I've also started playing a single player game again. Also one thing, like I feel like this is not like a PS5 like game. I'll say that. But I know last week I was like, what really are the changes? It just doesn't. And that is kind of disappointing. But forgetting that, I've started playing it again. And I kind of like when I played this game first time, I basically hammered it in like a weekend or 4 days, whatever it was, to talk about it for the pod. So bits of it were a bit of a blur, but what a game. And just playing this again, I thought that thing that happens was right at the beginning, but actually it's like 2 and a bit hours in.
You got to do the snowball fight first.
Yeah. There's other stuff you do, but I just remember it being like it basically starts with that, but it is 2 hours in. But I just kind of wanted to turn my brain off and put something on. I'm like, I will start this game again. And there's just, I know not everyone likes this game, and they're like, Jesus, why is this series celebrated? It's just really basic combat.
No, who says that?
There are people who hate this game.
It drives loads of people mental.
You get loads of people that get really angry about it.
Really?
Oh great, it's
gotcha.
It's a third person Sony game.
Whoa, slow down. You get that about every game series. Some people said that about Breath of the Wild.
There's definitely something about The Last of Us that like people who don't like it have to fucking
they have to tell you about it.
But who are these people? Who are these people?
No one I know.
These people exist anyway.
They're either ambivalent
on Twitter
or they really
that
like
you should have unfollowed a long time ago. Is this what you talk about?
Well, no, just but you know.
No, I don't know.
Types of people.
These people don't exist.
They do.
People don't
You do.
100% exist.
They do.
If you're one of these people, write in and
yeah. Anyway,
well, David, we've brought one of these people on the show for you tonight.
If you are one of those people, then shut the fuck up, because I think this game is incredible. And
where do you get the fucking balls to act like the big man? Where's that come from? Why do you think that you can be the big man? Shut the fuck up, yeah.
Anyway,
I'm Matt Murray. Where's that come from?
I don't know, just grew some balls in the last 30 seconds. Anyway, I'm very glad to be playing it again. I love the characters, love the setting, love the storytelling, and it's like a bleak world, but my god, I fucking absolutely love being part of it, and I'm excited to try it all again. Not the hospital bit, but apart from that, I'm excited to try it all again.
The hospital bit was a bit shit. It was so good, and then that happens, and you're going, "Oh, come on."
Yeah. Again, this also makes me excited about the TV series again, and I'm like, okay, well, what are they going to show? What aren't they going to show? It's going to be,
is that song in the TV series?
That scene just reminded me of you singing it. That scene's ruined now for me, Dave. Thanks.
It's not very good, that scene, though. Come on,
it doesn't offend me, but I can see why it'd be easy to take the piss out of. I mean, like Joel singing and playing the guitar. That's like a. Yeah,
love the idea. Love the idea of Joel singing and playing the guitar.
Pedro Pascal playing a lovely little ditty on the guitar.
Can it not be that literal though? Ellie, you're not my daughter, but you feel like you are.
That'd be great if I changed the lyrics, actually. But yeah, I'm enjoying playing that. What a game!
Maybe they should do go back to the theme of the Traitors. Some of the covers they have on that. That's the worst thing of all time.
That is one of my favourite things about that series, because it's soulful. Like those.
I'm waiting for the ones where they go, "A licky bum bum down." As they're going into the.
I don't mind them playing different versions of covers where it's almost like operatic, or it's almost like soulful or quiet. I don't mind that. I do mind it if it's like the lyrics are so kind of on the nose. It was like, oh, you're lying to me because you're a traitor.
Yeah, but hold on. That's exactly what the problem that I had with the Joel song. That's exactly the problem I had. If I ever was to lose you.
Yeah, but...
like, come on, man.
It's a beautiful song, David. Don't slag it off. Don't be one of them.
Pearl Jam, was it Pearl Jam? It was Pearl Jam, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, Pearl Jam cover, yeah.
I like Pearl Jam. But that dreadful. Okay, is that what you've been playing this week?
Yeah.
Then let's get to questions.
If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/Dear TCGS. Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS.
Hang on. Gamers. Whoa, Sean. Right.
What?
I added a question quite late because I remembered one that came to the inbox. Now it could be spam. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Have you just deleted it again?
I just deleted it because I didn't think it was. I thought it was weird.
Just more like, is this spam or is this a great email?
What's great is I was looking at it in the doc and I was like, I remember adding this one.
Get it back in.
Can we put it back in and let Matt read it? Let Matt read it now.
Let's. I mean, I think we should trust Sean's judgment.
No, I want to. Yeah, because you want to go to bed.
Questions, so let's see how it goes. Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS cultish gamers, with many abandoning Twitter and, like David, hopping onto Discord for lack of other options, I cannot help but ask about Nintendo's much neglected social media platform. Is this the perfect opportunity for Miiverse to make a return, winning the hearts and minds in playgrounds, offices, and retirement homes the world over? And how would you use it now compared to back then? Keep up the truly remarkable work. Sincerely, Maria.
It was so cumbersome, though, wasn't it, Miiverse? Yeah. It was
so. I missed out on this.
So
was this just
slow.
Wii U?
It was 3DS as well.
It was on 3DS.
Yeah, I didn't have 3DS either. Damn. Okay, so what? Tell me about Miiverse. Tell me the vision of Miiverse.
Basically, every game had it's essentially like a forum, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you could post drawings and screenshots, or just.
But it was also integrated into the games themselves as well, where sometimes you'd be running along and then you'd see, oh my god, Harry playing New Super Mario Bros. And him walking about, and then a massive like what would happen was at the end of a level it would go way, and then it would show you 3 Miiverse posts right on the screen, and one of them was always Yoshi's dick. And you just go, for fuck's sake! There's no way.
How detailed are we talking?
Quite detailed. Quite.
I mean, there was
detailed.
there's hair and all sorts.
And they went, oh no, it's very heavily moderated. But when you've got 7 million Yoshi dicks being uploaded in a set, some of them are going to get through.
Well, they're moderating only the best ones to allow them through. They are curating them.
Well, because Amiiverse is also how we got the best ending to a game ever in Affordable Space Adventures, which no one played because it was a same room co-op game on the Wii U, but it was really good because it basically the whole game was the joke was you'd gone on this holiday to another planet and you'd paid this tourist company to send you there, and it all goes to shit and you have to fly this ship around and you're trying to find an emergency beacon, right? So you can request send an SOS signal out. And throughout, it's sort of you'll occasionally get these cutscenes where it's like, oh yeah, this company that I've paid is clearly really badly run, right? They're just incompetent. And then basically, so at the end, you find this SOS thing, and you're like, oh my god, that's amazing! I've made it, completed the game, and it's right, draw your do your SOS message, right? And it's it's a Miiverse post, so you just help us, we are trapped on the planet or whatever. And then you press send, and it's right, cool. And then it plays this cutscene where it cuts to the office of this tourist company, and it's closed. And then it goes to there's just this fax machine, and it's just just printing out all these other SOS messages, and yours is one of them, and they're just landing piling up on the floor.
And they were real ones, are they?
Yeah, and they're all real ones.
That's great.
Which I can spoil now because it's literally impossible to
experience it. I like the idea of bringing it back. I can't see. They would fuck it up if they brought it out again. There'd be something wrong with it, and you just go, "Why have you done this, Nintendo?" And the idea is because they've got fed up of Yoshi's dicks. And the other thing is that with Miiverse, it was primarily sketches. People would sketch stuff out, so they either had amazing handwriting or they were beautiful sketches. And your little shitty post that you posted on that feed, you just thought, well, I'm already at a disadvantage because Do you know what I mean? I've got no motor skills.
They kind of brought it back a tiny bit with Splatoon, didn't they? Because
they did. Splatoon 3 still. Yeah. Oh, and
but
2,
that was just annoying. Don't chocolate. Shut up. Leave me alone. Also, every time you saw him, it was in 30 frames. It's like,
yeah, but it's a picture.
Yeah, it's just a yes.
Yeah, but
one frame is enough.
To see them, you have to run around a town in 30 frames. It was sickening, Matt.
You've changed.
Do you remember Splatoon 3? That was something, wasn't it?
I enjoyed the campaign.
Still going as DLC this year.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Probably
great.
not gonna.
It was great for the 2 weeks that I played it. Okay.
Right, Matt, you're gonna read this one.
Matt, come on. This is the one that you had to put in.
Because when I came in, I was like, "What is this? Are we getting scammed? Is this spam?
Okay,
Was this a genuine message?"
Out if this is a genuine message.
Joey,
so it's not from BAFTA again, is it?
Please talk about the awards.
They want us to be part of the conversation, guys.
Yeah, we need to
start the conversation, you idiots.
We need to explain that at some point.
Yeah,
and then they didn't get in touch again.
No.
Yeah, because they couldn't answer the question.
Go on.
Anyway, Joey Vimsanti. How about a computer game where somebody runs a recruitment agency in finding and filling jobs? All the details needed to find jobs for companies and people seeking jobs. It could involve finding educated people, motivated people, skilled people, and people with disability issues, working with native... Okay, yeah.
Matt wanted this one to stay in.
Sorry, anyway, working with people from other countries. Working with HR departments and governments on issues such as employment and skills. It could help educate people about the employment industry. It could also include employing people in your employment recruitment agency and competing with other recruitment agencies and finding offices. There are simulation games on lots of issues, from soccer to prison, and from flying planes to running railways. Why not on employment agencies? From Joey Vimsanti, North Wales, Great Britain.
Joey, can you send us a new game idea every week?
Yeah.
I don't think this is a scam email. I just think it's Joey's had an idea for a game.
I didn't think it was a scam email. I just thought it was very long. And
I think it's a great point in conversation.
I've got to be honest, Sean. I would love it if Joey Vimsanti sent us a new game idea every week.
If you're real,
it wasn't on the form. It was an email.
Yes, it can be a regular section. Yes, it can.
Do we need a jingle for that regular section?
I'm not going to regret it. And then at the end of every game idea, we've got to decide between us. It needs 3 votes to be commissioned, right? So I'm going to say commission. James, what are you going to say?
I'm not commissioning this one.
Okay. Oh, Matt Murray.
Job simulator. Hell yeah.
There we go. 2 against 1. Sean?
No.
It's not being made, Joe Vincent.
No, deadlock. Now we argue the case.
No. It's got to get through commission. No, it's got to get 3 of us. Yeah. It's like what is it? It's like the auditions in X Factor or whatever.
Yeah,
Joey.
Like Anyway, Joey, thanks for your message. Apologies if we thought it might be spam or not. But no, I thought it was interesting, and maybe more from Joey next week.
Yeah, if anyone's got an idea for the name for that section, Joey Vimsanti. Is it Vimsanti?
Vimsanti.
Yeah. Right, I'm sure someone can think of a good pun. Get to it. Let us know. We'll start this up. It's a new section of the show.
See,
I'm partly doing it because Sean really doesn't
because
like
obviously,
it.
As usual, you've made lemonade with it, but not because the email was good.
It was an interesting email. I'm glad we put it back in.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
MD Krabofs says, after the initial excitement and confusion when a rival podcast publishes a deepfake video of the TCGS crew going at it hammer and tongs, your thoughts turn to revenge. What's the best revenge?
To actually do it?
Yeah.
To film the real video of it.
Just own it. So
lean into it.
Yeah. We're not all using AI. Jesus, can grow up.
We can't be embarrassed because we do it.
Yeah.
But the only embarrassment is that we didn't have the idea first.
Yeah, we didn't monetize it.
That and James comparing his size to everyone else's. That was really embarrassing for me.
There was a lot of 8-inch versus 7-inch complaints, actually.
The shadow that creates. Blimey.
Can we just do the next one, block out the sun. You need to...
Can we just do the next one?
Why are we outside?
I don't know, son.
Are there any beaches in Germany?
To answer the question, what is the best revenge? Living well, mate. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
That is an interesting.
What got you there, James?
just the living world thing is amazing.
It's okay. Yeah,
that was Ben.
We don't need any revenge. We're top of the tree, baby.
Exactly. Ben says TCGS has just had some major backers on Patreon, tens of thousands of pounds per month, locked in for the minimum of a year. What do you do with the money? Where does TCGS go from here? Who's quitting their job? Me first.
Not me.
No.
Because after a year, I will get back to where I am now. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. And I could do it. I could do both, mate.
Yeah,
Pick up the weight.
You're supposed to say, I'm making shitloads out of computers.
Yeah.
The three of us would be in the studio every day having a laugh and be like, come on,
custom-built studio.
I didn't think that. Like, if I won like the lottery, which is different from what's being proposed here, then yeah, absolutely, that would be my job. I'd be streaming every day, and we'd be reviewing games, and we'd be doing loads of stuff. But tens of thousands of pounds per month, I don't know if that's going to be enough, man. Because you've got to cover.
Not with your bills coming in.
Yeah. Tell me
car,
about it.
new heating system.
No, but it's like
Jesus.
you've got to think about the future. That's the thing, isn't it?
That's what I was thinking with this. Yeah.
This is the problem with this stuff. I'm not going to be 60 years old and talking about the new Nintendo console coming out. It's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, and it's like, how do you get to get back into your current career?
Yeah.
After, like, I just did like 5 years doing the computer game show. Because you can't even, like, in the current climate, you wouldn't even be like, well, I'd sort of parlay it into a career in video games, because
you don't want that.
No,
because
I
got time for that.
Obviously, with all the stories of layoffs and stuff, obviously it's not about me. But about a year ago, I was like, no, fuck this. I hate my job. Let's get into video games.
You did, yeah, I remember.
And I had a couple of decent goes, but now I'm just like, why on earth should the games industry make room for me in this climate? Do you know what I mean? Like there are so many people already doing a great job who are fucking losing their jobs left, right, and centre. Like, why on earth should I squeeze in? Do you know what I mean?
I know we can't go into details, but I was genuinely pissed off by how that you were treated during that period. Like, genuinely angry.
I don't think it's that unusual. Dave's referring to the fact that I had 3 interviews at one place.
Fuck,
which obviously at the time I was like thrilled, but didn't get the job.
Yeah,
so,
and all that time and effort and oh my god, fuck that! I can't imagine that. You've got through to the next round. Fuck off. Do you want me to work for you or not? You've got through to the next round.
Standard though, right?
No, not outside of wanky offices, surely.
Wanky offices? Was that one of employee perks?
That's fucking hell, Matt. Is this the shit
I think for tens of thousands a month, yes, hell yeah.
Have we finally lost our sense of humour? Like, are we finally not funny anymore?
No, I'm very funny, David. I'm very funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for tens of thousands a month, yeah, just kill it for an absolute year and see where we get to at the end of it.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, but I value my career. I've been at the same place for 17 years now. And to just drop that to go and do a fucking podcast for a year is not what I want to do.
And a stream. And an unboxing.
It's obviously because obviously the idea of quitting my job is lovely, but also it's like, what could we do if we were doing this full time? Like, what other things could we achieve?
I want to know what James would fucking do. Probably nothing.
Fuck
still,
all.
Right?
Same. I mean, obviously the trouble is we all live in different parts of the country, so that is an issue. If we all live like in the same city,
but we've got the internet. But yeah, if we had like an actual studio to go into, that would be amazing. Or maybe we just get sick of each other and not want to do it anymore. Who knows? Maybe this is a healthy amount of distance.
It wouldn't even last a year. It would be like when people do interviews on like the BBC and they're like from like the BBC like Norwich office. It'd be like that. Like, I'm in the studio in BBC Norwich. You're like I'm in TCGS Leeds, and you know.
Do you remember? I don't think we've ever openly spoken about this on the show, but when we first spoke about joining Patreon, I was against it. Like, I think I held it off for like 2 years because I was against us joining Patreon. And
like lost revenue.
Then as soon as he left, we were like, right.
Yeah, then you set it up.
Do it, baby.
And if I remember correctly, at one point I said, money is acid to friendship. And it made me laugh so much that I think we've posted that about 1 million times whenever money discussions have come up. Whenever we've had to get serious and talk about money in our group chat, at one point I have to remember money is acid to friendship. So maybe
anyone who's ever like lived with mates, fucking hell.
Yeah, I was lucky actually when I first moved out and got a flat. I moved in with a workmate, and everyone was like, "You don't want to do that. You're gonna hate each other." We still walked we went to lunch every day together, and then it was like a right couple we were. It was really weird. Shout out Mark Wickens. He's the guy that I told you about that at one point he was in the office in home base and just went, "Fuck this, I'm going to be a pilot." And everyone took the piss out of him, and now he's a pilot. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Well done. Go on. Sorry. Next.
Rafi says, I really want to play Infinite Wealth. So I'm trying to remember all the story from Yakuza 0 to 4 before trying 5 and 6 for the first time and then move on to the Like a Dragon series. Do I need to do this in order to understand what's happening in Yakuza Like a Dragon? Do I also need to play the man who erased his name to figure out what's happening in Infinite Wealth?
Fuck the Yakuza series.
And what about Judgment?
Yeah, no mention of Judgment. That's another.
Go on.
You forgot one, Rafi.
Yeah.
James?
You don't need to do that. Just play it. And then there is they give you like a cinema at the beginning, I think, which is probably about 5 hours.
Cinema?
Are we talking about View or
£70? It comes with a cinema.
Yeah, I'm really tired. The words aren't coming.
Sorry,
out
James.
right.
It's fucking all doing you
It was too good to just
sit
leave
forward.
that.
That's it. Get me. Do you want to quit the show?
Don't start this again.
It feels
don't
like
tempt him.
It feels like it.
Look,
someone's going to send in a question. If your main job paid you tens of thousands of pounds a month, would you quit the show?
If your main job paid tens of thousands of pounds a month, would you still fucking moan when it got to midnight?
It is. It's 12 o'clock. I want to go to bed.
You're too old for this now, and you're the age. You're the age where it's too old. I just realised that I said I don't want to be fucking 60 and talk about the new Nintendo console, and that's exactly what you're going through this year. So
it's mean.
But yeah, I've heard that. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Apparently, there's an initial bit that's absolutely fine, and then it does kind of bombard you with stuff you should get from having played the previous one. But it's not like
me that Sean, who's barely played any of these games, is giving the answer, while James, who's played all of them, can't be fucking bothered.
No, I said there's probably
you get a cinema. Sorry,
video or whatever at the beginning, and if not, just watch some catch-up videos on YouTube.
There's probably recap videos you can watch. But yeah, apparently it does start throwing in stuff that you would only get having played the previous one, but it's not like it doesn't ruin it by any means.
Just watch it on YouTube. I don't know. Fucking hell.
I've answered the question, Rafi.
The last question comes from Eskil Vendel.
Do we just fire him? Do we just fire him?
Can we do that?
Might have to get like a personal development plan.
Yeah, that's true. It says, hello, gents. I discovered your podcast last autumn after my friend Håkon Lingstad sent me a clip of one of you saying he had a beautiful name. He does.
Yeah, absolutely does.
I've been listening to that for the last few months, and I've come to enjoy seeing the new episode tick in on my phone, as I know it means I'm going to have a pleasant time with the geezers. My question for you is this. How would you recommend that newish listeners, such as myself, tell each of you apart? I recognise David T easy enough, but Sean B and James F are quite similar, and it's usually by audio quality and volume that I differentiate them. Matt has the loudest microphone besides David, so he's quite recognisable too. Keep up the show, and I'm sorry I called you geezers.
No, please carry on calling us geezers, because we are. That's what we are. That's what
geezers.
we like to be called.
Always wanted to be a geezer.
I wouldn't have had Sean and James's voice. Sean's generally the positive one that does shit jokes, and James, it's just I don't want to be here. That guy. That's how you tell the difference between those two.
It's outrageous.
Energy levels.
Well, no, because Sean talks like this, and then James is like.
That's not fair. I've stopped doing that recently.
Yeah, because we had to tell you.
I know. I've stopped doing that. I'm right near the microphone. I've got the whole thing.
Yes, that's true.
I've got the whole thing.
Yeah,
I've got the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I often when start listening to a podcast, you don't know the people on it. It does take a while to get that. It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even if they've got wildly different voices, it still takes a while to sort of separate out the type. Do you know what? Here's what you need to do. Watch one on YouTube. That will help big time. Because it'll give you visual aid of what we look like.
Absolutely do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. We are 4 hunks. So if that doesn't get you over to YouTube, then
which is that's hard to differentiate. So it's like they're all good looking.
They're
so
all
like
really classically.
Do you
handsome.
think there is anyone who fancies all 4 of us? And they're just like, I love watching this on YouTube because I get to just have a nice look at them.
I don't know.
I don't want to think about it.
Never thought of that. But
yeah, and I'm asking because I think the odds are slim. Please don't think I'm like, I reckon there's definitely someone out there.
No, I don't know.
Just watch it. It's like, do you remember, Dave? We were talking about because someone we sort of know started an OnlyFans, and I was saying like, can you imagine how that must feel? Like the question is, should I or shouldn't I, rather than, well, does anyone want to see that?
Yeah,
I know, but then Matt decided to go ahead, and it was
look, you got to make money where you can.
Yeah, mate.
I'm not really bold about feet, but if people are willing to pay cash money for these babies, then why not? Doesn't bother me.
No, I don't think anyone finds us. I don't think anyone finds one of us attractive, Sean. I think all 4 is quite. I mean,
no, I reckon.
Yeah,
we've
the
each
odds
got like 1 or 2 admirers. But I don't think anyone's collecting the full set.
I was going to say, yeah.
Who's watching Mr. Bean and getting all aroused? It doesn't happen.
James Acaster's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay then. All right, maybe she's a listener.
Who's
Fingers
that?
crossed. No, sorry. Just watch us on YouTube. That will help with the voice thing. I'm very uncomfortable.
I should probably put our names on the. They're not on the stream layout.
Well, they're not.
No.
So why is it all right for you to suggest using YouTube, but I'm not allowed?
What do you mean?
What?
You're saying, people should watch us on YouTube to sort things out. And then, sorry,
Sean, he wasn't. He
Sorry,
wasn't
are you
listening.
okay?
Sean, he wasn't listening.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
He wasn't listening.
Yeah,
He wasn't listening. James.
Fine.
James is done, man. James is.
Why is it
done.
okay for you to use
Oh, he's
YouTube?
actually gonna.
James is done.
Red face.
Like James is done. I don't know how long he's got left on the show. I genuinely don't know. At what point does he go? This is not worth my time anymore. Because it's got to be
Not worth the
seen.
risk to my health.
Oh,
David, how comes it's you okay to say YouTube? What, mate?
You're saying that
sort it
someone
out.
should go to YouTube to
Go
check
to
it out, and I
YouTube.
tried to say the same thing for Yakuza. And
How
you're
come
right.
you can go YouTube? What?
It's not quite the same thing.
James was like, I've got to try. And then he did, and then that happened. No. He's going to go to bed tonight, and Chen's going to go, how did it go? And he went, I tried. I actually tried for a bit.
They really laughed at me.
Did it
when I was
work
like,
out, James?
How was
No,
it
it
okay
didn't
for you
work
go
out.
YouTube?
Did you tell him the lie about the plumbing? Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
They
about the
called
big
me out
pipes.
straight away. They called me out straight away.
I mentioned something about one pipe, and then nothing goes in it later on. And then I think they worked out I was talking bullshit.
Did you mention the U-bend? Yeah, I mentioned the U-bend.
I mentioned all the technical terms.
Goes down later on. Okay, are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
It kind of does, but
Okay. Holy shit. Okay, right. Are we done? Right, let's go. Socials, Matt.
Yes, you've listened to this podcast on the day it comes out, Wednesday night. Tonight we're doing a talk server of the PlayStation State of Play. That's tonight from 10 to 10 on twitch.tv/TCGS code. Just search for TCGS in the app or website and you'll find us there talking of the State of Play. That's tonight, Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. And Sean is streaming RimWorld.
Yeah, I'm going to make a colony and I'm going to name my colonists after these 3. I think you can do that. And then you can see how they manage, and it's going to be good fun. If you don't know what RimWorld is, don't worry about it. It'll be fun.
But also don't Google it.
No.
Because it ruins the surprise.
Incognito
So
tab
what
if
kind of
you
game
can.
is it?
So it's like
Matt, come on, stop it. Come on.
Okay, fine. We'll move on. So Friday.
What kind of game isn't it?
Friday. James is streaming Dark Souls 3 Friday night at 9.
No, we
Definitely
won't.
this week.
No, we
Definitely.
won't. Expect a tweet Friday. God, be fucked.
Yeah.
God.
I was ill.
Yeah, anyway, that's Friday night for 9. So all them on twitch.tv/TCGSCO, search for us on the app.
I had a blackout.
What?
I had a blackout because I was so ill. It was terrible.
Mate, you have a blackout when you think about that little old lady spinning underneath the helicopter, it's not like a wild thing for you.
This was particularly bad. It's weird. It's really
a
weird.
particularly big meal. If you have Amazon Prime and a Twitch account, connect them and you get something called Twitch Prime Gaming. You get a free sub of that every month. Why not go to our channel and give us that free sub? We really appreciate it. We're on patreon.com/TCGS for exclusive monthly bonus podcasts, talk servers, gaming streams, you name it. We need to work on what we're doing for February. And the website's tcgs.co for literally everything else.
Oh, God, that might be my favourite ending to a pod ever. I'm dying over it. Thank you so much for staying up late tonight, James, and thank you for listening, everyone. Thanks for living it.
Hang on, before we go, we've got a special guest next week.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because I'm not here.
Is it next week? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not here next week. I'm gonna go snowboarding and maybe dying. I'm probably not gonna die like last time.
Please try not to die if you can avoid it.
I don't care.
If you do,
I don't fear death, Sean. I welcome it.
Can I have the neon TCGS light, please?
No, I want that.
Oh, you can have it, actually.
What, I
don't really want it.
You're not getting an 800 quid light, David.
I'm not going to fight you over it, Sean. You can have it, mate. We'll catch you later.
We haven't said who the guest is.
Sarah Dyer. Sarah Dyer is back in the hot seat next week. So we'll catch up with Sarah next week. Find out how her. Do we say Happy New Year when she's on the show? Are we past that point now?
Well, yeah, that's really the 7th, but we can still do it.
All right.
I mean,
I won't. 7th? Is that what?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think it's the 7th.
All right. Thanks for living it. We'll catch you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Ta-ra.